I'll look at it in a little bit. I think that I gave you all the perms because I usually give everybody the perms except to bring people up. And so, but like I said, it glitches because I sometimes can't do anything on Joyful's live, and I'm his head mod, and I have all the power. So let me check it in just a minute. I gotta get YouTube going. Good morning, JTP. I think that's JTP that popped in. Hi, Mezzo. How are you today? Why am I not signed into YouTube? That's weird. Oh, I know why. I think it's because I changed my password. That's probably why. Okay. We're gonna go live here. And just a second, I'll play some music for you guys while I'm getting started here, okay? I will play a few songs for you, if you will. You guys, while I'm getting YouTube started and stuff, do all the good stuff if you don't mind. I'd really appreciate it. I'll play you a little music while I get YouTube set up. Alrighty. Let's start with this.
They said Jacob I love, but Esau I hated. Before he took his first breath, his fate was already faded. Born red, born wild, born free in the dust. But the prophets wrote him off, told us God couldn't trust. Oh yeah. From Esau came a Maleka named they curse. They painted whole people with the blood of the first generation after generation. That rage rolled on, turned stories into weapons and called the slaughter divine law. But let me tell you something they don't want you to see. The line they drew from me so runs straight to you and me. They use that curse like a brand, like a flag in the sand, to call every rebel, every outcast, every child of the land. I'm elect. No kings, no gods. We won't kneel, we won't nod. No kings, no gods.
Every child deserves to die.
So they say wipe them out.
Remember, Amalek's sin.
But they don't see the mirror that they're staring in. They call them cursed, Palestinians despised. But they fighting for breath while the prophets tell lies. He says children never sin being born. The bloodline ain't the crime. The crime is the scorn. They were never Amalek. They were human, they were whole. And it's time to break the spell they cast on their souls. Esau was hated for nothing he did. Amalek was punished for something he was.
Okay, it says soy sauce that you could mute accounts. The only thing, actually, it says you can't do that. Sorry, I changed that. The only thing you can't do is manage guests or receive my live recordings or do my product management, which none of my mods can. So I don't have products to manage. But hey. Make sure you guys are sharing out the live. Let's get some people in here. All right, you guys, I'm going to play my new song for you. Hopefully this gets your morning going here. I'm going to try to put my, I should put it probably closer to me. Okay, here we go.
Miss me, now you gotta kiss me. You unwrap my sentence, call it just a thought. Say you love strong women till you get caught. You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet. Bow down, little man, and kiss my feet. Yeah, misinformed, misguided, mistaken. And that charm, boy, I know you're faking. Me with that misogyny. You ain't the man you think you be. Miss me with that hypocrisy. Your fragile ego and royalty. I'm misbehaving and just being me. Miss me with that misogyny. You quote some podcast, call it intellect. But all I see is you begging for respect. You rate our bodies, dismiss our brains, then cry. Not all men again. Miss me with your tone. Miss me with your sigh. Miss me with your sweet heart. Boy, bye. Miss me with that misogyny. Don't need your fake apology. Miss me, can't you see? I'm a star. You're just an extra, baby. Miss me with that misogyny. Misogyny.
It's not freezing over on YouTube, and it's not freezing on my end. I'm not sure. You do? You want to come up and share your surprise, Seth? What's the surprise? I want to know the surprise. By the way, you guys, congratulations to everybody who's on the Deconstruction Junction Discord. We have 5,000 members now. It's fucking amazing. Is it freezing for other people, or was it just Lilith? Because I don't see it freezing on OBS. I need that Discord info. If you are not in the Discords, the Discords are in my bio. There's a link to my Discord and the Deconstruction Junction. You're welcome to join them both. They're free to join. Hey, Seth, how are you?
Hey. So,
What's up?
this is my surprise. I've got the horns.
Okay, wait, I gotta see. Okay. Oh, so cool.
So,
I love it.
this was part of my costume from a Halloween party I went to on Saturday. But the horns are like surprisingly easy to wear.
Cool.
So I know, right? I was just kind of like chilling out last night, walking around with my horns. And of course, with the pitchfork, I was being a freaking nuisance on Saturday night, but it was a good time.
And the horns remind me of Born Again Atheist. I love it.
Yeah, I know.
They're really cool too. They look like they're just coming out the sides of your head.
I know.
Really cool.
I know. Yeah. The first ones that I ordered, they were like hair clips. And I don't have enough hair for that, so I had to get these as a backup, but it actually worked out really well. And then Benny went as an angel. So
oh, that's cute.
he got like some little wings, and then we found a halo, and he put a glow stick in the halo, so it was glowing.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. That was very smart. I love that. Did you guys take pics?
I think we have a few pictures. Yeah.
I need to see
but
that.
I want to like get more use out of this now. I'm like, love these accessories, and I'm just like, man, should I just start like going out and wearing my horns?
Listen, if Christians, the other day, a man literally was walking down our main highway. here in town with a freaking giant cross, just walking around town. So all I'm saying,
Yeah.
if they can do that, why can't you wear horns and carry a pitchfork with you everywhere
Exactly.
you go?
Exactly.
Deconstruction
Wait,
junction server isn't valid. So I'll have
your
to
link
fix. I
isn't
don't
working?
know why. That's weird because it's a forever link, but every once in a while, even my forever links stop working. So I'll have to put a new one in there. I will do that. I don't know why, but I'll fix it right now. Thank you. I should be able to fix it. Oh, wait, I can't fix it right now.
So are they saying that you don't have the best link tree?
Yeah, yes, that's what they're saying. Said I don't have the best link tree right now. Oh my God. Don't tell anybody because Joel's back and he's going to tell everybody that he has the best link tree again. God, darn it. Dang it. Mine's still the cutest. Like, you can't convince me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, Seth also has a link, right? You have the link, right?
I do. And I think mine works. I haven't been told that it doesn't.
Put a 1 in the comments if you have a link to the Deconstruction Junction Discord in your bio or link.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I would never try to claim, that my link tree was anywhere near yours. So,
well, thank you.
But for anybody in the chat, I mean, it is an option. Like, Crystal's is obviously still the best, but if for whatever reason it doesn't work, it's probably user error.
Right. Obviously,
you can check mine out.
I wouldn't make a mistake.
Obviously. No, especially when it comes to technology.
No, that would never be something I'd screw up. Nope, not me. Just every YouTube video I've ever posted is like fucked up, but whatever. Like what? I am so bad at YouTube that I know that when I get done with the show, all I have to do is get the video off of TikTok and then just go put it on YouTube to fix whatever I fucked up on YouTube when I was streaming over there, and I still don't do that. Okay, I still don't do that. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think that I have technology fatigue. Okay, if there was ever a fatigue that was real, that would be what's real. Okay, I am so tired of learning new technology. Like when I was growing up, because I grew up during the Stone Ages, so we only got technology like every 50 to 100 years, right? So for us to have to get new technology every fucking day, I hate it. I hate it so much. Every time somebody goes, oh my God, you guys, TikTok came out with a new I'm like, fuck you, shut up. You are blocked now that you mentioned a new
Yeah.
If you
just
mention
one more thing for me to learn. And also, like, my thing with technology is why can't it just work?
Yeah. Why not?
Oh, this is the most ignorant live I've ever come across. We haven't even really said anything.
Oh, Lilith, that's exactly how you do join. Let me clarify something for you. A lot of times the link tree or links or whatever sometimes won't work when you are doing it from TikTok. And so you might have to copy and paste the link and put it into a browser. So if it worked for you to do it that way, it actually means the link works and my link tree is still the best link tree in the planet. Okay? I just want you to understand that. Okay? Because the Discord links don't always work. I've got a new flash go. So if this is the most ignorant live because I asked a question, I don't know. I think that's weird. I think there's a lot of ignorant lives where they make a statement that is completely incorrect. I'm just asking a question. I don't know how learning is ignorant.
Maybe maybe they're like self-conscious about their link tree, and like
Oh,
when you talked about how great
yeah.
yours is,
They probably
they got
checked
upset
too, and
by that.
they got a little jealous when they saw how
Yeah,
beautiful it is, huh? Yeah. Wait till you guys see my
that
LinkedIn. No, I'm just
happens.
kidding. I don't even have a LinkedIn. I'm not looking for work. What? I don't need a LinkedIn. Uh, Remember one time when we were watching Justin and some dude was trying to prove to Justin something and his proof was a LinkedIn video or something? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember that.
Yes, it was
Wow.
so funny. We were laughing so hard because at first he would not like he was avoiding answering what like page he was reading it off of. You know how they did that? No,
Mm,
I'm not, and everything. Then
yeah,
Justin
yeah.
was like, no, just like tell me, like so I could just look at it, just tell me. And finally he tells him it's a LinkedIn page. And like it was so hilarious. Aw,
That's
thank you, soy
incredible.
sauce. Yeah, Trust But Verify is amazing. I hope you guys are all following him. He's just, I really love him. I'm really glad that he's a part of our community. He is just the
Me
nicest
too.
guy, right?
He is so nice. And
He
even
really
like
is.
in the face of like objective insanity, he remains calm. Like that girl that was saying that Estonia isn't real. Did you were you there for
I
that?
didn't see that one. I didn't see that one, but that's good.
Yeah. And he like I'm, in the chat and I'm listening to this and I'm like, freaking out over here and Truss is talking to her and he's just like it didn't even phase him. He's just
That's
like,
so funny.
okay. Like I think the best solution to that is to get a ticket to Estonia, like improve that yourself. And then
Yeah.
she just like went off into some other insane diatribe about how she couldn't do that because if she went to like because you can yeah sure you can buy a ticket to Estonia, but if you flew to Estonia it wouldn't actually be Estonia was her explanation. And so yeah. And so she said
Okay.
that like if she tried to go there or wherever it actually is, that these people would like snatch her up. Um, and I think she said that she knew people who said that they had been there, but she didn't believe them too.
That's so
So,
weird. Why does she think it's not real? Like, what was her reason for
I mean, she
disbelieving?
said like like she said she was schizophrenic, among other things, I'm pretty sure. And so, yeah, I think it's just general like
That's just
delusions.
confusion. Yeah, it can get
Yeah.
very confusing when you have mental illness. Like I tell people this all the time. I have mental illness. I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but at the same time, I don't know if he really knows if that's what I'm not saying I don't have something wrong, but I don't know for sure if it's that one because I just don't get manic like other people with bipolar disorder do. I just don't. I get the heavy depression with like not a lot of the mania, or
Mm,
not really any of the mania. But anyway, I digress. I do know that what it's done is made it sometimes confusing for me to understand if what I'm really feeling or thinking is valid or if it is my mental illness. And so I have to sometimes go to people I love and trust and say, okay, here's my situation. And this is how this has made me feel. And I cannot tell if these are like valid emotions or it's my mental illness, and so I'm sure that if I had things that like schizophrenia, which can often include psychosis and things like that, and auditory and visual hallucinations, geographical locations would be very confusing to me because I wouldn't know what to believe or what not to believe, and I would really need a trusted people that I could turn to when I had questions on my reality.
Yep.
But
Oh,
yeah, that's
Morgan, why don't you
crazy.
come up and talk to us?
Yeah, I just want to talk about it, Morgan, because I'm not talking about the afterlife. I'm talking about the life here and now. So saying nothing isn't really true, because if you're wrong, then a lot of things you've been taught, you've done certain things because of it that you probably wouldn't do or would do if you hadn't been taught this religion. So I'd love to talk to you more about it. Yeah,
Yeah, and
between
like
bipolar disorder.
as far
Yeah,
as a Christian, if you're wrong, that could mean so many things.
yeah,
Like you could be wrong about aspects of your own faith. Um, I mean, usually they are, but if you're wrong that Vishnu is the correct God, or this like individualistic God that some random person 1,000 years ago, like they got that right, and like everybody else could be wrong. Like that's what we're saying. Like is so wild about religion is there's so many opportunities to be wrong, and so few ways to confirm your assumptions or your beliefs. And so putting your whole life into this belief, um, you're taking a gamble.
yeah,
Like
for sure.
you think that we're taking a gamble because we might go to hell, but we're not wasting our whole lives.
Morgan, if you want to know, just come up and talk to us. I don't really want to do the to chat thing. It's really simple. It's if you're over 18 and you're a Christian, you're welcome up. But if you want to talk in chat, talk to the people in chat, okay? And
Yeah.
they'll explain to you. Like if you're wrong, then women have been burnt at the stake for being witches that were just women. If you're wrong, then child marriage should have always been wrong, including Mary. Okay, just saying. If you're wrong, you guys have been imposing laws on people throughout history. You've done the Spanish Inquisition. You have done so many horrific things as a church that it's actually insurmountable. So if you're wrong, there's a lot. And if you want to talk about that, come on up. If not, talk to the people in chat, okay? Oh, well, I hope you've joined the Deconstruction Junction. It is awesome. And I'm really excited because that really made me happy. Over on YouTube, they asked, can I play an instrument? I used to play the guitar. I used to play at the guitar, I should say, because I never was like a full-on guitarist or anything. I just have always written. And so I like to write lyrics, and I used to produce underground bands out here in Southern California back in the 80s. And so I used to like to write lyrics for people and stuff who were in the music industry. But I sadly don't like calluses on my feet. I'm just a pussy, okay? I hate it. It hurts. So I'm not going to lie. I don't like pain. And I so far, I have found there's very little that motivates me to get past the pain of something. If you're going to tell me we're going to do this, it's going to be really fun. It's going to hurt, but I'm going to go, yeah, then you just took the fun out of it. I don't want to do that
Yeah.
anymore. So, but I I do want to learn how to play the keyboard, and I'm thinking of getting one of those little rolly keyboards. Have you seen those ones that you put your
Oh
iPad
yeah,
there
those
and
are
helps you learn?
sweet.
Yeah, I think I want to get one of those this year and start learning how to play the keyboard. That would be fun. Never intend on being a musician or a singer. I just like to write. Just like to write.
Yeah, it took years of piano lessons, but sadly, like a lot of that knowledge has left me. Um, and like I would love to get back into it, but every time I sit down at the piano now, I'm just like, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah. I was just not encouraged as a child to do anything. Okay. Just not, I don't mean like it was that my mom took anything away that I enjoyed. Like if she found out I liked it, she did take it away from me. So first, like I wanted to collect dolls because my sister collected dolls. And she said to me, but your sister collects dolls, so you can't. Okay. And my brother collected coins, so I wasn't allowed to do that either. I don't know why only one person was allowed to collect a
Like
certain thing.
you
And
had to
I
have your
did.
own special
and
thing, huh?
yeah, and she didn't like try to help me figure that out or anything. She was just like, no. So then my sister got to take piano lessons and she failed miserably at it. So when I started to learn how to play the guitar, my guitar teacher went to my mother and said she's amazing. Like she is the most improved student I have. Like she's just great, everything. My mom was like, yeah, but after you're done at school, we're not doing private lessons. So I was like, oh. So there went the guitar. Then I started acting. and my mom said, oh, you got a C? Yeah, you're not going to get to do that anymore. So anytime I did something, she took it away from me. So I just stopped telling her what I like to do. I just stopped sharing with her my little
That seems
things
fair.
that I like. But yeah. Meanwhile, my sister does not indeed collect dolls anymore, nor does she play the piano. And my brother probably doesn't know where any of those coins are. And I realized I actually don't like collecting things because they collect dust and I hate cleaning. So I don't collect shit either, really. I just started collecting a few crystals only because I wasn't allowed to have them when I was younger. But I'm not going to get a ton because I don't want to clean those either. I would love improv. My favorite thing to do on this app is when Joyful goes live at I Am His Pastor. You guys in my chat all know, so I don't mind giving that one up. Okay, but and when Joel and myself and Benny and Joyful and when we're all up there improving, it is hilarious. It is the best time. We laugh so much.
So funny.
Oh my God. I have to mute so much because I'm laughing so hard during those lives. It's hilarious. My God. I've even listened to this one back. There's a favorite episode of mine that I've listened to back because it will make me laugh so hard every time. So it's the very first time Joel and I do this, and the one thing I really love about improvising with Joel is we both always just go with it. Like that's what you're supposed to do, but like he's very instinctual on that, and so I started like picking on the fact that he had more coins than me and that I was a deaconess and I should get more coins than him. And so then people started like doing like a little gift war between me and Joel, and we're just like being so ridiculous like the entire time trying to get people to give us more gifts than the other one or whatever, and I laughed the entire time. It's actually funny because it's literally the antithesis of who he and I both are. So that's what makes it even more funny. But yeah, it cracks me up. And then when we interrupt I Am His Pastor's prayer the entire time, every time I'm not prayer, his story. about his
Yeah. Can I ask a
kid.
clarifying question?
And sometimes I'll just start singing in the most awful voice, some freaking hymn or some freaking gospel song or something, and Joel always knows it. And then he starts coming in too. One time we sang happy birthday to somebody. I think it was Joyful, maybe. But this was just us being us. And Joel goes, Joyful, was that good? Because I feel like that was probably horrible because of the delay and everything. And Joyful is so sweet. He's just like, yeah, no, I mean, it was a little odd. I listened to it back. It is the fucking worst happy birthday singing you've ever heard in your life. I laughed so hard at that, and I will never share it with anybody because it is horrible. Hi,
Amazing.
Armin. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing very well. Are you over 18 and are you a Christian or a believer of the God in the Bible?
Both of those things are true.
Awesome. So today we're talking to Christians and we're asking them to think for a minute about the fact that what if they're wrong? Because we get this question asked to us a lot, okay? And they'll say, what if you're wrong? Then you're going to burn in hell forever. But when we ask Christians to think about that, they say nothing bad could possibly happen if I was wrong. But first of all, there's thousands of other gods. So certainly if you're wrong, another God could be the right God and you could burn in hell forever. But also, if you're wrong, what Christianity and the Abrahamic God have perpetrated on society is irreparable. We will not be able to fix all the damage that has happened due to the Abrahamic God. What do you think about that?
Do you believe everything happens for a reason, or no? Are you not one of those people?
No, absolutely not.
Then I'm not sure what you're
I
asking.
think there is cause and effect, but there's not a reason. Like there's not some significant overarching reason.
So, like, what's your question? I don't. Could you wrap up what you
So
just
what
said?
if you're wrong? What do you think about all the atrocities that the Abrahamic God has perpetrated on humanity? And then we realize he didn't really do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna invite. I'm
of-
not gonna invite any doubt into my mind. But thank you.
That's okay. All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye. Yeah, that's what they're afraid of, you guys. They're afraid that if they think for 1 minute for themselves, that somehow God will be taken away from them. And that's really sad. Like he just said, I refuse to critically think because if I do, something bad might happen. That's sad. That is really sad.
That was super weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
and
at least he admitted it before we like wasted a bunch of time, but that's not. I don't think that's a
cult.
very good way to operate. Like,
no, and just like Jerem says, it's cult-like. It is.
yeah.
That is really, I mean, at least usually when I talk with Christians about this question, they deflect, they pivot, they, do some dodging and diving, but at least we have a conversation. But he was like, I'm not even going to play with this thought because she might be right. Like, that's scary. Yeah. She could be right. And I don't want her to show me that because I feel very secure in believing in my imaginary friend. And I've got to be honest with you. I was taught that. That's what I was taught by my youth group leaders. Do not put yourself in any position where doubt can come in because then you might actually lose faith in Christianity and we wouldn't be able to get your tithing anymore. And that's really important. I know why you don't. Armand, we know you don't want spiritual doubt because you don't want to critically think, because if you did, you might find out you're wrong, and that's scary to you. We know why. Critically thinking is important. By the way, I'm going to talk about the book again. If you have it, and I haven't finished it yet, just for full transparency, make sure you check out the book, Critically Thinking for Dummies. It really does help you really look at things. It's not overthinking to just think, Armand. We hadn't even had a conversation yet. How could you have overthought when we didn't even get to any thinking?
Yeah, the only thing that could be is underthinking.
Yeah, you did a little underthinking there.
So I was going to ask you, Crystal, sometimes I'll hear Christians say, and I would hear this growing up too, and I actually did have a whole back and forth with this lady that I was witnessing to, because, and she called my shit, of me saying that I know what's going to happen, when I die. Like, I know that, Jesus is preparing a place for me in heaven. Like all these claims of knowing when it's clearly just belief. And so I was going to ask you if there was ever a time where you felt that you knew, like there was no doubt in your mind, or if you always acknowledged that it was just a very strong belief.
Wow. Let me think about that for a second. I'm very sure that I said I knew. Okay. I'm very sure that I said that. I don't remember a specific time, but it just seems like I would have said that. Okay. But did I really believe that I knew? No, I don't think I really believe that. I think that I wanted to believe that I knew. I knew that I believed it without a doubt, but I also was very aware of the fact the entire time that knowing means that you can prove something, and I knew I couldn't prove it.
I believe that I knew for sure, like 100%. Very interesting. Like if you said, well, how can you prove it? I would say, well, we'll prove it when we die.
Yeah. Armand, you said, because you're trying to invite overthinking and doubt. I'm actually just trying to invite thinking. And if for you thinking at all is overthinking, I'm very sorry. That's kind of sad. And you can send it right back at me, woman. Okay. My name's Crystal, by the way. And you probably didn't hear my song at the beginning of the show, but miss me with that misogyny. Okay, baby? Miss me with that.
Well, Crystal, what I came up to say is I actually got the book of what you just said. Sorry, how my brain
Critical Thinking for Dummies.
Critical Thinking for Dummies. And I was thinking of doing a live going through that book. So I think I will now that you mentioned it.
Very cool. I love that. That is awesome. That would be a great thing to go through.
It's something I need to still be learning.
Have you guys ever heard of the Hammer of Witches?
No.
Oh, well, I'm going to try to get a copy of that, and we're going to go through that, even if it's a digital copy. So let me give you a little synopsis, okay? Hang on. Yes, I'm using ChatGPT. Can I please get a synopsis of the Hammer of Witches and give me all the important information like dates, authorship, etc.? Okay, hang on. Yep, the Hammer of Witches. Okay, ready? It is really called Malleus Maleficarum, or the Hammer of Witches. Authors are Heinrich Kramer. And and to a lesser extent, Jacob Springer. The publication date was 1486. Okay.
Oh.
Hang on, I got somebody coming up. Jerry, if when you come up, please mute, and I'll be right with you. Okay. The language was Latin, and it is a religious treatise, demonology, legal theological manual, and it's to identify, prosecute, and justify the persecution of alleged witches, particularly women, under Christian law. It is written during the 15th century, a time of growing fear of heresy and witchcraft across Europe. The Catholic Church had just dealt with the Inquisition, and belief in the devil's active role in society was widespread. Kramer was a Dominican inquisitor who wrote the book after being criticized and dismissed from trials for overzealous persecution of women accused of witchcraft. Part 1, the theological justification, argues that witchcraft is real and a dangerous form of heresy, claims that witches, mostly women, let's make this very clear, the whole book is really about women. Like if he mentions men, just trust me, it's really about women, okay? Are in league with the devil. It uses scriptures, church fathers like Augustine, and scholastic philosophers to prove the reality of witchcraft. Emphasizes women's supposed weakness and susceptibility to evil. We're more likely, okay, guys? A deeply misogynistic foundation for the text. The practices of witches. It describes alleged rituals, spells, sexual acts, and with demons. Sexual acts with demons, okay? Infanticide and flight. Outlines signs of which witches can supposedly be identified. Much of this is based on superstition, rumor, and forced confessions under torture. Okay? A manual of inquisitors and judges on how to conduct with trials encourages torture to obtain confessions and prescribes execution, usually burning, for convicted witches. It recommends ignoring standard legal protections for the accused. The Hammer of Witches became the primary manual for witch hunters across Europe for more than 200 years. It was second only to the Bible in terms of popularity among early modern inquisitors, estimated to have influenced tens of thousands of executions during the European witch craze, roughly 1450 to 1750. Officially condemned by the Catholic Church not long after publication, but it still spread widely thanks to the invention of the printing press. Seen today as a cornerstone of misogynistic pseudo-theology and a historical warning about religious extremism and moral panic. I want you to understand, and we'll go through it because I have been told that the book literally teaches them how to torture, and that grape was okay with that. Like that was it was okay for them to do that.
Well, and women, if they desired sex outside of marriage, then it had to be with the demon,
Right. And by the way, at no point do you ever have to prove a person is a witch to do these things to them. There was, like they said, any legal recourse the person had was stripped of them because they believed that they were above any laws because, God was telling them to torture these women.
Exactly. Just disgusting. Beyond disgusting.
Armand?
All right, I'm going to drop back down. I'll see you later.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know that.
Thanks. Grana. You guys make sure you're following Grana. I think it's going to be amazing for her to do the critical thinking book. I think that'll be great. The fact that you're saying stuff like that, Armand, you're just a misogynist and a hateful human being. I hope you have the day and life you deserve, sir. That is just horrible. Like, there's nobody who deserves to be tortured without an investigation. Like, not even a fucking investigation, okay? You know what I'm saying? Yes, you are a misogynist. You've already shown it more than once. Just because you don't think you are doesn't mean you aren't. like you're literally saying misogynistic shit in my chat and then going, I'm not a misogynist. I'm sorry, but you are.
People who aren't misogynists generally don't have to announce
All I
that.
did was bring up a hypothetical that maybe, let's say, like a witch decides, oh, they want to cause some problems, so then two men, or maybe even a war starts because of some witchcraft.
What?
What?
Why did you talk like that to me? I just said what? I didn't understand. Why'd you
Yeah,
go?
I don't know. All
What
I did was
that?
bring up. All I did was bring up hypothetical.
No, why'd you do that weird thing just now? Why'd you do that?
Did
thing?
what thing?
Did you? Why'd you do that thing?
Because you've been barking at me all day.
I wasn't barking at you. And why are you saying such things? What? That's the. See that? That
I'm
right
saying
there. That's misogyny.
men are ignorant to the fact that a woman could be instigating a problem between two men the entire time.
Aww.
In some form of
Men
witchcraft.
never do that shit, right? You never.
You getting
manipulate
emotional is
people.
all the proof that I need.
Am I emotional?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Armand. Am I getting under your skin,
Strange.
Armand?
No, you're not. You're strange.
You're emotional, dude.
No, and not one thing I said was misogynistic.
The fact that you think, yes, the fact that you think two women manipulate somebody
No.
But if you do it, it's not. It's
That's not what I
fucking
said.
misogynistic.
That's not what I said,
fucking
ma'am.
idiot. Get the fuck off
Yeah,
my
that's
stage,
what exactly.
you fucking idiot. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to give you a platform to be a misogynistic fucking idiot. I deal with so many misogynists every fucking day. It's exhausting.
You've been barking at them all day? You've been live for like
I've been
20
barking
minutes.
at them all day. All fucking day, too. Like, I've been barking. Because, like, I literally invited them up here. I said hi, good morning, let's have a conversation. I guess that was barking. It's wild. The fact that
I just
he
love
doesn't think-
that like two men getting into a fight because they can't control their emotions.
is
It
witchcraft.
has to go
Is
back to some
witchcraft.
sort of like women interfering and like making this happen.
And
That is misogyny,
listen.
Armand.
That's exactly what we're saying, Armand. That's so misogynistic. And also, let's say two women, fuck with me. Let's say they do, okay? They manipulate him, they fuck with him, they do stuff to him. That's not witchcraft! You idiot! And men do that all the time. It's not witchcraft when men do it either, you idiot. It's manipulation. It's playing games. It's whatever you want to. It's abuse a lot of times. It's horrible, and I don't condone it in any way. But it's not witchcraft, pumpkin. Nobody casts
We
a
don't
spell on you.
believe.
And if your
Yeah,
brain
we
is
don't
so
believe
weak
in
that
that.
they can, you need to consider what's going on. No, I'm not bringing you back up again. Why would I bring you up again? I talked and I asked you a question, you go, like that to me. What the hell, dude? I'm not going to have you come up here and disrespect me. I don't know. Like, you're used to women who are meek and quiet and timid, and then they always let you talk, and they let you do whatever they want. But I'm not that woman, Armand.
Well, the other thing with like witchcraft and magic and all that is the line between that and religious practices and ceremonies is so thin. Like, it's just like, oh, like we do all this weird shit, but it's okay because it's tradition. It's, the Eucharist or like all this crap. But if you did that exact same thing under the name of a different god, or even like for nature or something like that, then all of a sudden it's witchcraft, it's evil, you're inviting darkness into your life, and it's so stupid.
He just compared me to his ex too, and no, my ex was a barker. Dude, if you call every woman a barker, again, you're a misogynist. You're a misogynist. And that's why women don't like you. And you're going to find a really low caliber of woman when you finally do find one. Okay, just so you know. She's not going to have any huevos. She's not going to be able to help you when you're in need. A good, strong woman can, though. Did you know that? No, I'm not letting you back up. You could send me $20 to my Cash App and I'll consider it. I'm not scared of you. I just don't give a shit what you have to say. Your conversation is weak. It's boring. It's played out. He's really into Jesus calling women talk. You win today. I literally let you speak, and then I literally said what, because I couldn't understand the last thing you said, and then you made fun of me for saying what and said that I was barking at you because I asked what to clarify. Shut the fuck up. You had a chance to speak. You showed you were an asshole when you got your chance, and that was all we needed. That was all we needed, sir. We don't need no more. So, Joyful and I are doing something fun for Halloween. On the 30th, we're doing a special show. You guys all have to watch JA debates on the 30th because we're going to be in costume, and then we're also going to try to debate as who we are in the costume. Like, that's how we're going to debate. So it's going to be kind of fun. Dress up too. I kind of want to get some friends involved and tell them who they should dress up as. Like, you don't actually have to pull on a full costume. Maybe just change your little profile for the evening and fuck around with us a little bit. So if you want me to send you some information, as long as you got to be quiet and not tell anybody what we're doing, then I will DM you and tell you more. But just send me a message. I'll tell you a little bit more. Because I think it would be fun if some others got in on this. I think it would be a very fun evening.
Making the rounds in my demon.
Yes, I love it. Seth the demon. Who knew? I knew you were sneaky, Seth, but I had no idea. Life beyond belief. You know why I have another pair of glasses on? It's because I break my glasses right here because of my headphones. Like, I'll go to pull them off or whatever, and then I break them. And that's why I have a million glasses. It's actually the only reason I have them, because I break them and lose them. So I keep a lot on hand. All right. You guys want to play the Bible tab game while we wait for Christians to join us? Christians who aren't afraid to critically think for themselves? Because so far, we've only had one person, and he said, nope, I'm not critically thinking today. That would hurt my head. And now he wants to come back, but I can't let him because he's too misogynistic for my taste. All right, you guys. You see the colors? The first person to name a color in the chat, that's the tab I'm going to. You could all say colors, and then I'll just go down the list, and we'll talk about different Bible verses. If you want to come up and discuss it, even if you're friendly, any of the Bible verses we go over while we're waiting for Christians, you can. So pick a color. And this time we're going to go to the middle of the book. The wager argument isn't for Christians. Usually the wager argument is for atheists. This isn't the wager argument, though. Because I'm not asking you what will happen after you die, okay? I'm asking you if you're wrong. What does that mean to you? All right, so the first one is orange. We're going to go right to the middle. Right to the middle, and we got cannibalism. That's a fun thing to talk about at lunchtime
Oh.
on on the Pacific Coast. Okay, here we go. We are in Isaiah, and we are going to be in chapter 9, verse 11 and 12. Well, I have 12 highlighted. I don't know if it counts or not. I'll have to read it all. So the Lord raised adversaries against them and stirred up their enemies, the Arameans on the east and the Philistines on the west. And they devoured Israel with open mouth. For all this, his anger has not turned away. His hand is stretched out still. But why does this? Oh, did I read the wrong one? Oh, no, it's not cannibalism. It's God causes bad things. So let me go back a little bit. The Lord sent a word against Jacob, and it fell on Israel, and all the people knew it. Ephraim and the inhabitants of Samaria. But in pride and arrogance of heart they said, the bricks have fallen, but we will build with dressed stones. The sycamores have been cut down, but we will put cedars in their place. So the Lord raised adversaries against them. Okay, so this is, I don't know why I wrote cannibalism. It's just God causes bad things. So God caused all the enemies to come up against Israel, his own people. So, like when they say, but God won't hurt his own people, because I have Christians tell me that a lot. God does hurt his own people, like a lot. Like that's who hurts him. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about running a topic that God has created every enemy. like every enemy. He created his own enemy. He created our enemies. He created Israel's enemies. Like if you believe he's the creator, he created enemies. He didn't have to have an enemy. There was no need for a Satan. Like literally no need for it. Okay, Spicy Phoenix says red. So we're going to go to the closest red. And that one is women as property. Oh, what a loving God. And now we are in Jeremiah. Let's just jump right over to Jeremiah chapter 8, verses 9 and 10. The wise shall be put to shame. They shall be dismayed and taken, since they have rejected the word of the Lord. What wisdom is in them? Therefore, I will give their wives to others, and their fields to conquerors. Because from the least to the greatest, everyone is greedy or unjust gain. From prophet to priest, everyone deals falsely. So, yeah, I'm just going to take these human beings over here. We'll give them to this guy over there. Because they're just women. They don't matter. Who needs to talk to them and ask them consent? Jay, come on up.
This was like, what's the context here? That God was just like, you guys suck. You know, you're doing all these bad things. So to punish you, I'm going to offhand your wives to somebody else.
Yeah,
or transfer your wives to somebody else.
Yeah, let's look it up. I like to look up what the rabbinical teachings are. I like to sometimes look up Jewish apologetics, basically, to hear what they say, because it does help me understand where they were coming from. Tell me about Jeremiah chapter 8, verses 8. Let's go through 12. Why are these women being given away? Who are they? What's going on? What's the situation? By the way, I talk like myself to ChatGPT. So yes, I have cussed a lot at ChatGPT. Okay, a lot. Doug laughs at me. I've also apologized, even though I know it's not real and I don't care. Okay. This section comes during the prophet Jeremiah's long lament over Judah's corruption before the Babylonian invasion in 6th century BCE. The nation's leaders, priests, prophets, scribes, and rulers have become corrupt. They have claimed to represent God's law, but Jeremiah accuses them of twisting it into lies and profiting from injustice. So, when you read, their wives will be given to others, this isn't about a specific group of women. I know that dumb shit. Being singled out, I know. It's all of their women. Nobody's asking about that. These wives are not villains or targets. They're victims of the men's corruption. They're also victim of this God, chat.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Do I have to cuss at him? I have to cuss at him sometimes because this is so ridiculous. It's, who's being judged? The male religious and political leaders of the time, so their wives are being taken from them as a punishment by God, which is what I was saying, that these women are just property to God and to these men. All right, let's see. Did anybody have another color? What other color you guys want to go over today? Hi, Joyful. How are you today? Welcome in, welcome in. You guys keep tapping the screen, sharing out the live. I'm only at 59 shares. I really need you guys to get me over 100 shares. And if you take your finger and hold it down on your screen, your whole list of people will come up, and you can literally just like scroll on down your list and get like everybody if you wanted to. It will spam my chat like it is for KJ right now, but it really helps. Oh, wow. You guys did that so fast. Thank you.
Yeah,
You went
that
from
was
59
fast.
to 129. Boom, like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And at 10,000 likes, thank you so much. Hi, Sunny. Welcome in and good to see you. I have just been struggling to get Christians to come in and talk to me this week. Just struggling. And I noticed that Jaron and Lobes had some trouble too on JA debates for a while, trying to get people in there and stuff. So I know I'm not the only one. Ah, okay. If you guys don't have an auto clicker, the toy in your side drawer works too, just so you know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's funny, because you laughed like you did. Here's a funny story. I used to have a waterbed for many years. And even though like it was so like not in to have one anymore, I liked it because it was warm, right? Oh, Kravis. Hang on 1 second, Kravis, okay?
Okay.
And I living in Kansas on those cold winter mornings, it feels really nice being in a heated waterbed. But being that it had that big oak cabinet thing behind us, and I had my little cabinet, and my daughter just decided to open that cabinet while she pulled out something purple.
Oops.
And then she never, ever looked in Mom's cabinets again. And I appreciate that. I appreciate we had just a moment of discussion about what a loving marriage looks like and how that can involve toys. And, and then we never talked about it again. She was not a little kid, by the way. Those things were like, she was a teenager, but still it was funny. And I like to embarrass her every now and then by kind of hinting at it, but not really saying what I'm talking about, just to fuck with her. But Kravis, how are you doing this morning?
Hi, I'm doing well. What about you?
Doing well. Good to see you. Today we're talking to Christians about what if they're wrong, and specifically, what I'm asking about is because Christians ask us all the time, what if you're wrong, then you're going to go to hell.
Right.
And that's because that's the only way I'm going to find out if I'm wrong. But if you found out tomorrow, like there was something that just made you 100% sure that you were like, oh my God, it's not true. None of it's true. I don't know what that would be. You do. I don't know what it would be. How would that make you feel about all the atrocities that the Abrahamic religion has perpetrated on the world?
Well, I mean, I'm a devout believer, right? So that, that example you just gave will not benefit me in any way, right? So
Why wouldn't it benefit you? You're not a human?
I am a human, but telling me that it could be a lie, it won't benefit me in any way, right?
That's not what I said. I said, what if? And so I'm asking you just to use a hypothetical.
I
and think
know,
about
I
it for a
know.
minute.
I know that. I know. But like I told you, I'm fully convinced, right, that, the Bible is the truth, right?
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Have a good day. So that is the second man of God who came up here this morning and said, I absolutely cannot think about this. I absolutely cannot put on a critical thinking cap for a minute and consider that I might be wrong. Because that
I was too distracted by, well, first of all, the name Kravis does not sound real. And I don't know. Was that Armand?
No, that's not Armand. Kravis goes around the lives, and I feel like
so that is a real
some,
person. Okay.
Yeah, but
All right.
I feel like he goes under another name sometimes too, but it's not Armand. It's always with the older gentleman, like he had in the profile picture, and it's some other name. I'm pretty sure.
And
it does sound like a troll.
Bio was like American businessman. It was like the most generic. I don't know. It's just like.
And I always thought he was a troll when he would go on like Joyful's live and Joel's lives and stuff. But then after a while, I was like, oh, you're not a troll. You're just a dick. You're not a troll.
Cognitive dissonance.
But it's just really funny to me that they cannot even think about this question for a minute. It's wild to me. I feel like I should change the topic because they don't want to talk about this. But at the same time, I really like this topic because I want people to think about it.
It's a good question. Yeah, I don't. It should not be that difficult. If you're wrapped up in something that prohibits you from letting any doubt enter your mind, you've got a problem. You need to look at that.
Yep. Yeah, it's wild to me. I don't know. I do have other topics. If you guys want, why don't we give this one? We'll give it 20 more minutes, okay? And if we don't get some conversations going, then I'll change the topic to something, I don't know, a little more rage baiting. I don't know. Try to get somebody in. No, I don't know. I have a few other topics we could try. I have the one that says Abrahamic God is not safe for women and children. We could do that one if we don't get
that one seems to get the mogs riled up for sure.
It really does. They get so mad at me.
And then come up and prove your point the entire time.
Right. Exactly. And then they go, I'm not
You really
misogynistic.
think you're helping your case?
I'm not misogynistic. It's just that God knew that I would be better at taking care of women.
Yeah.
They made me.
Yeah.
I'm not misogynistic. I just believe that it's okay for men to have multiple wives and women shouldn't do that, okay? Because they can't take care of themselves. I'm not. It's so funny to me how... he literally called me woman. I don't know if you saw that in chat. Armand did. And then he said, I'm not a misogynist. And he goes, what is woman not the right term? I have a fucking name. No, it's not the right term.
Yeah. nobody says that like with like nobody addresses somebody as woman with any sort of reverence or respect.
Right.
Like that's not how that works. It's making me think of, so in Sunday school when I was in high school, at a certain point they split the boys and the girls up, and the girls, I can't remember what book that they read, but it was definitely one of the like big ones at the time. And the boys, we read this book about, I think I might actually still have it somewhere, about being like, you know, a warrior for God, you know, like that's your role as a man. And I just remember being so mad because I was just like, I mean, first of all, Sunday school in general, like not a great time. But then like I was friends with the girls, and like, when they split us up, it's like, wait, so I can't like hang out with, you know, my friend Erica and like all these other people because we got to like do this separate thing now. And also our Sunday school teacher at the time was just a real POSFF and just all that shit. But it just the way that your like your gender roles are so like crafted in the church, and there's like very specific ways that they want you to be, and how they start that very young because they know
They do.
that it's a lot more effective when you're younger to indoctrinate.
You know, there's a lot of women in the church who think that they're feminists, and they're not. They're just like people who think they're allies, and then you find out they're really not, right? And so, like, my mom was one of those people, and it was very confusing to grow up as a woman in her house, to have her sit there and tell me things like, babe, you could be anything you want to be too. You're just good as a man and stuff like that, and say all those things to me. And then for her to worship my brother and treat me and my sisters like shit, for her to literally give my son more expensive gifts and even sometimes just more cash, like, you know how grandmas give cash in cards, than she gave my daughters. And just weird things like that. It was very, very confusing as a, as a girl growing up in her home. Very confusing, because she would spew one thing to me, but all her actions showed that she was an internal misogynist. She believed in a patriarchy. She believed in the men being the head of the house and stuff. Hey, Joyful, how are you today?
Oh, doing okay. Do I sound fine?
Yeah, you sound great. So you want to tell us how that
Okay.
went last night? I mean, if you want to, you can, but I was hoping that's why you came in.
Well, I just came to hang out here for a minute while I was chilling, but in the car. But yeah, it went fairly well. So it was a huge turnout. There was, unfortunately, the majority were against the LGBTQ club. There was about 40 people against and about 15 to 24. And a lot of the people for were teachers, so they can't speak. But we didn't know this at the time, but it was first come, first serve for speaking, and they were only letting 10 people speak. And it just so happened that there was 5 and 5. Even though the group was much bigger against, we still had the same representation. I got to be one of the 10 that spoke. My daughter was there, which was amazing. She founded the LGBTQ junior high club. And it 4 years ago, and it's under a new name now, but it's the same thing. And so she was going to support it. My brother-in-law got up and spewed his rhetoric. You can go see it at MSDMV on YouTube. MSDMV school board meeting. That's the name of their channel. You can watch it if you want. You can't see the people speaking, but you can hear what they say. It was almost comedic hearing these Christians get up and speak. Just nonsense. One of them was telling the school board that their lawyer was wrong and that they could just dismantle this one club, and telling them and I'm just thinking, all right, your bachelor's degree in business made you read law better than the school's lawyers? That's interesting.
Wow.
That's wild.
And then my brother-in-law, just the same rhetoric about how the mental illness. A girl I grew up with from that church also got up and spoke and was like, it's clearly harmful to be part of the LGBTQ. Look at the suicide rate. So by the time I got up there, the whole speech I sent you guys and I practiced on Benny went out the window. If you listen to it, I was like shaking mad by the time I got up there. There was a lot of things said, and mostly it's mental illness and harmful, and they're just protecting the kids. And don't accuse them of disguising their bigotry with religion, like preemptively. And so I got up there and I just told them, I was like, this is bigotry. If you really cared about statistics, you'd know what would cure the suicidality in LGBTQ is acceptance. If you really looked into statistics, if you really cared, but no, you take the one that fits your narrative so you can demonize them. And I'm personally not sacrificing my child's well-being so some grown-ass adults can feel comfortable. Just not gonna happen.
Exactly.
It was a really good experience. I did get a DM later from the girl I went to church with growing up about how she couldn't believe I would call her a bigot. I've known her and her dad. And that's what I said. I said, at first I sent her a really mean thing back, and then I removed it because Holly was like, maybe sit on it for a minute, because Holly likes to go through things more diplomatically than me. So I removed it. It was a Facebook message. So I sent her one this morning that basically said, I stand on everything I said. If you don't want to be called a bigot, don't act like a bigot. Like, it's that simple. Like, I don't care if you believe if you believe LGBTQ is a sin, that's up to you. Just keep it to yourself. Like, don't come impose your will on me, is all I'm asking. And you guys can't do it. And so she had never responded, and I don't expect her to.
I don't either, because she's a bigot.
They all, but also, like, my brother-in-law since has blocked my phone number and my Facebook account. So there's that, which didn't matter because the only reason I even used his Facebook was to, like, see what he was saying. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all of it. Except for the one thing that was funny is we were standing there when Andrew, my brother-in-law, was talking, and my daughter tapped me on the shoulder and she goes, am I going to get in trouble if when we're leaving I tell him to fuck off? And I said, no, this is the time for that. This is the time for that.
I want you to tell your daughter how proud I am of her. I wish that I had her courage when I was her age, and I'm just so proud of her.
No, she is. She's amazing. She brought me to where I am with the LGBTQ ideology. She's taught me a lot about it, got me to look into a lot of it, and like I just learned a lot from her, and I wouldn't be where I was without her. She's always been an advocate for it, and ever since she was like 10 years old. And our home wasn't teaching it. Like, it just happened naturally, and she's my daughter, and I love her to death. And I was taught something yesterday that I told my wife. I was like, the problem is I think they kind of created a monster, because I knew I could do this stuff online and call out this shit, but I didn't know if I could like be this vocal. But now that I did it, I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Now it's going to happen in real time.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'd love for you to be in politics. I'd love for you to be on that school board one day and be the one telling people, no, we're not closing down the fucking club. That's not gonna fucking happen today, you know. But that would be awesome. We need more people on our side in local government. If you think that our government is just the presidency, you are wrong. It starts in your local government, and we need more people.
But
I say this
actually, our school board was quite amazing. I never expected it. I know some of the people, I didn't know where they stood, but every time one of them got up to speak negatively about it, they were like, just the women especially on the board were just tuned out. Like, you can watch it in the video. Like, they just like stare off and make weird faces like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But then when people were for it, they were locked in and like definitely showing affirmation to it. I was very proud of our school board because I never expected that in Mount Vernon.
That's awesome. Hey, Saucy, how are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing good. What'd you come up to talk about today?
Well, you wanted, sorry about that. You wanted a conversation with Christian. Love to.
Yes, I do. I'm just I'm not used to Christians coming up and actually talking to me about this. Yay, thank you. All I want to talk about today, Joyful, do you got to go?
Yeah, I've got to drive home now. I was just sitting in my truck, so.
Love you,
all right,
buddy.
good having you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you, Joyful. Everybody, make sure you're following JA Debates. He's really turning his channel into something very cool, where people from the community come together and debate on Tuesday and Thursday nights. Most of the time it's Joyful with the co-host, but sometimes we take over his channel for the night. So make sure you're following JA Debates. Okay, Saucy, so here's what I want to talk about. And I've just had trouble this morning because literally the men who've come up so far have told me they can't even consider what I want them to think about, okay? I get asked all the time on my lives, what if you're wrong? Then you're going to go to hell. And I'm like, I know. Like, we know. I know, okay? But do you guys ever consider, what if you're wrong? How much harm has the Abrahamic religion done to society if they've been wrong all along?
Do you think the Abrahamic faiths have caused a lot of harm to society?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, we were just talking about some. I mean, literally trying to take away a children's club because they don't like the LGBTQIA. And we know that self-harm rates are very high among LGBTQIA teens from the very thing called lack of acceptance. When you give them one person, like one parent in their house, those rates drop significantly. Self-harm rates drop. Give them a community that supports them, and even more so. So we know that it has harmed society. It's harmed women. It's harmed children. It's there's been wars, Spanish Inquisition, slavery, burning of witches. without trials, without any proof, and it doesn't end. It just doesn't end.
Okay. I would disagree with a lot of that stuff, but if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and I have a life that I feel fulfilled and have purpose and meaning, and every human being has moral intrinsic worth, and or at least in my mind, and if I unalive and
So
I
you
just
don't give a
want to-
shit that everybody else has been harmed by the religion because your life is cool, is what you're saying? So
Yeah,
as long as
I
your
I was
life
going to
is
ask,
cool,
what do you
I'm disagreeing with your premise that the Abrahamic
then tell
Okay.
me one thing that I'm wrong about.
Sure. I mean, where do you think human rights, universal human rights, come from?
We don't have universal human rights. If we had universal human rights, there wouldn't be little children
But do you think that's wrong?
enslaved.
Do you think that's wrong?
No, I of course I think it's wrong, but I don't see any way we could have it different. Like, because we don't all live in the same area. We don't all think alike. We don't even have all the same needs. So there
Do
would
you
be
think-
no way to give us universal. If we had universal human rights, the right to food, the right to shelter, the right to water, the right to clean air, and the right to have a home would all be basic rights. Every human being would get those across the board without having to do 1 ounce of work.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Do you think all humans have that right?
No, they don't.
No. I'm not. Obviously, they don't. Like, in your mind, they don't have it. Should they have
They
it?
should.
They ought to have it.
Yeah, they ought to.
So they morally ought to have these rights. So do you think all humans have intrinsic moral worth, regardless of their color of skin, their socioeconomic background?
Intrinsic moral worth. I don't think I've ever had it put that way before. I think that all human life is valuable until such a time where, like, maybe we see that they're heinous or something like that. But otherwise, most people, and again, it would what caused that, what happened, we'd have to figure that all out. But I believe that humans are valuable. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why under atheism?
And I
would
don't
that
think
be
the
true?
God does, though. I don't think the God
Sure.
thinks that at all.
I'm asking under atheism why would all human beings
real
have
quick,
moral worth?
Though, Saucy, I feel like you're running away from what Crystal proposed in the beginning. She gave you examples of why the Abrahamic religion has done harm on humanity, and you are trying to take us to this
He's shifting the
Philbro
burden
argument
on me because he wants to
where-
instead of answering any of that.
So, like, do you deny that those things happened?
I mean, yeah, those things happen. To say that Christianity is the cause of, like, the transatlantic
The
slave
Spanish Inquisition?
trade
The
is kind of,
transatlantic slave trade? Of course it's because of Christianity. They use the Bible.
Sure.
They
Well,
use
if you're
the
gonna
Bible.
say that, then what group helped push to end slavery?
What?
What atheist groups pushed to
Several
end slavery?
people. Why do you think atheists have groups?
What
Atheists don't have groups
what
because.
atheists
Do you know what an
pushed to end
atheist
slavery?
is? Can I help you?
Sure, the people that don't have lack belief in God. So what people
Of
who
any
lack
God.
belief
Of
in
any
God
Listen,
pushed to end
Saucy.
slavery?
Um,
Can you name some?
people who were not in the Southern Baptist Convention, I'll tell you that, because
Can you
they
tell me
pushed to
some
keep
atheists
slavery.
who pushed to
No,
end
because
slavery?
you're not addressing my question. You just keep shifting the burden. You don't want to take any of the blame. Spanish Inquisition, completely Christianity. Slavery, they used the papal bulls, okay? We know that they used the Bible. And the Southern Baptist Convention, the largest Christian organization in the United States, was formed to protect slave owners' rights. So please, we know there were people on both sides who tried to end slavery. To say that there were no atheists is insane.
No,
Let's
I'm
not
asking-
be like that.
I'm-
Let's not be disingenuous.
I'm asking
okay?
which
people on
atheists
both sides.
pushed to end slavery.
I would have to go look it up, and I'm
Do you
not
know
going
any?
to do that right now because that's not the that's
Weird. Okay.
who fucking enslaved them, Saucy?
Oh, no,
It wasn't an
I was just
atheist.
curious what group put
Who
what
fucking
atheist groups
enslaved them
pushed
in
to
the
end
first place?
slavery.
Who fucking put them enslaved in the first place? Why don't you address that? You go, hey, this man
I'm
raped
trying
this
to.
woman right here, and let's not think about that. Let's
So
not
you
think about that,
so
okay? Let's think about who freed the woman. Was it came together? Let's forget about the fact that that man raped her. Let's not think about that part. Fucking the Christians enslaved them, saucy.
yeah, I'm granting that
I
to
don't
you.
care who ended.
I'm
So
asking
they woke up
who.
one day and
What
said, "Oh, wow,
I'm asking
we
you, what
really are
atheist?
shitty people."
Can you name the atheist that pushed to end slavery?
Saucy, I'm not.
Okay,
Until
we'll move on. So no,
that
you can't.
Christians shouldn't
So
have fucking ever done it in
where
the
do you
first place.
think?
I'm not doing that.
Where do you think like universal human rights come from? So like during the Roman Empire,
We don't have
it
them,
was
so they don't come
common.
from
Slavery
anywhere.
was common during the Roman Empire,
I
and
don't
infanticide was
care.
common. Child rape was common.
I don't care.
What group do
I
you
don't
think said
care.
this is wrong?
What are you talking about?
What
Lots
group?
of people
What
said
group?
this is
Oh,
wrong.
who in the Roman Empire during Jesus' time said it was wrong?
Do you
Not
really think?
Jesus.
Oh, really?
Not Jesus.
Interesting.
Not Jesus.
So what groups pushed to end child rape,
Not
infanticide?
yeah. So do you want to respond to that? That Jesus never spoke out against
No,
slavery?
I'm asking a simple question. What group
No, I
pushed
think
to
my
end
question's better.
slavery,
Why
child
didn't
rape, and
Jesus ever
infanticide?
speak out against slavery?
I'm just asking for a simple
Why didn't
question.
Jesus ever
What
speak out against
group?
slavery?
What group of people pushed to end child rape, slavery, and infanticide?
Not yours.
Yeah.
Not yours. I can talk to you until the cows come home about how Christians have done nothing but harbor P3DOs since the dawn of time. They move them around in their churches. They forgive them. They tell the children and women who are victims of them to forgive them. They have used child brides to birth children for them at nauseum. So I don't know why you thought that was a good conversation to bring
Yeah.
up. Christians don't protect children. Christians aren't even doing it now. Release the Epstein files. Holy shit! But
So
you guys
two-
don't want
so
it because
two-
you're so afraid MAGAs will be in there. Oh my God, you don't care about kids. Stop playing with me.
So
You don't
2,000
care
years
about
ago,
kids.
2,000 years ago, the world humans did not care about this idea of
Who is
universal.
Epicurus? Who is Epicurus?
If I can finish my thought, that'd be great. So
Who is
2,000.
Epicurus? No, you asked a question, so we're going to
I don't know. You
Question.
can tell
Who's
me.
Epicurus?
You could tell me. I don't know.
He's a Greek philosopher long before Jesus, hugely influential in secular ethics.
Okay.
He fought
Did he-
for rights, for
Did he
human
espouse
rights.
for every single human being had
Lucretius.
intrinsic moral value?
None of your people have
Well,
either, so shut
so-
the fuck up.
so he- so
okay,
he
Roman
pushed for
poet and
intrinsic-
philosopher,
let me look him up. Let me look him
follower
up real
of
quick.
Epicurus,
Let me
who
look
wrote
him up and
on
see
the
his
nature
quote
things,
about
teaching
universal
that
human
nature.
rights.
You know, I know that you're not used to women talking, so
Oh, no,
you
no.
know, but I can mute you so I can fucking talk on my own show, okay? But I'm going to talk. Lucretius, Roman poet and philosopher, follower of Epicurus, wrote on the nature of things, teaching that nature, not God, governs the universe. His naturalistic worldview would later inspire secular philosophers who championed reason and equality for everybody. Voltaire, Diderot, Thomas Paine, Robert Greene Ingersoll, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Ernestine Rose, Bertrand Russell, Albert Einstein, Christopher Hitchens. How many fucking atheists do you need? How many fucking human secularists do you need who champion for these things? So let's not play aboutism here. Why don't you fucking own up to the fact that Christians and the Abrahamic religion have done horrific atrocities on humanity, have never owned up to them, have never done anything to set anything like back to make it better. All they've done is is use their power to be evil fucks and take people's rights away. That's what they do. That's what they do. And the people are tired of having their rights stripped. And the people are tired of having Christians come up here and pretend that they're all good and that they've never done anything. And if they're wrong, it means nothing bad has ever happened. Lots of bad have happened. We were just talking to somebody about Christians who were trying to take away a club for kids because they're LGBTQIA. Christians burn libraries down because they don't like the books that are in them. Christians have destroyed artwork because they felt that it was against their God. They don't care about people. They don't care about humanity. They only care about themselves. And you've already said that. You said as long as everything was good with you and your family, you don't give a fuck.
Okay, you asked me if I was wrong, would it affect me? And I'm saying no.
I didn't say, would it affect you? I never said, would it affect
What
you?
you
I
said,
said,
the prompt is,
it has
with
caused
Christians, what
horrific
if you're wrong?
atrocities.
And I said, no,
And
it
then I
doesn't cause
explained
me
it to
any
you,
harm
Pumpkin. And
because
then
it
I
gives
explained
me
it to you,
intrinsic
Pumpkin,
moral
because I
worth.
said that I'm talking about what it has done to humanity.
I'm
And you
saying
thought
that
about
idea of
yourself. I
universal-
could play
the
it back
idea
for
of
you. You thought
universal
about
human
yourself
rights.
immediately.
The idea of universal human rights that you're appealing to only exists because of Jesus Christ.
No, it doesn't. He didn't give nobody any rights.
Can you
and he didn't
prove
free
that?
anybody. Yeah, prove that.
Why do you
Yeah.
why do you think most scholars think the idea of universal human rights was based on the teachings of Jesus? We have agnostic historians.
Okay, can you prove that?
Agnostic historian.
Most scholars. Yeah, show me where's
Yeah,
where's
let me
that?
find some quotes real quick.
No, like
This
I
guy
need like a
just said that
statistic.
most scholars think
Agnostic
that,
Tom. Okay,
human
you
rights
guys
all
make
come
fun of
from the
me,
teachings
and when
of
you're done
Jesus.
talking, I'll talk.
Can
Just
you
go ahead and
tell me
go ahead and make fun of me.
if that's true that most scholars think that? No, we're
You
not
just
done
let me know
making
when
fun
you're
of
done.
you.
You just let me know when you're done talking, and I'll talk.
Oh, no. When I stop talking, you can talk, and I'm not going to tell you. You have to figure out those cues for yourself.
Well, because I start talking and you guys overtalk me, so I can't really talk.
'Cause you're
So
saying
you
some
just
stupid
get it.
shit.
You get it all out of your system, and call me stupid, whatever you want, and then I'll talk.
So can we start with the claim that what did you say? Universal human rights come from Jesus, or he was the first person?
Most scholars
What did you say?
believe that
Something.
universal human rights derive from the teachings of Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not.
Can we start there?
Sure, that sounds great. Can I read this quote from an agnostic historian?
I don't care. Why do you guys think that an agnostic person means most scholars?
No, it's just one. It is okay if I read it.
You can
I'm
go ahead and read
curious,
it, but it doesn't
Crystal,
mean
if
most. Go ahead.
Okay. Simply, the ancients were cruel, and their values foreign to me. The Spartans routinely murdered imperfect children. Their bodies were treated like outlets for the physical pleasure of those with power. Infanticide was common. The poor and the weak had no rights. How did we get there to here? It was Christianity. Christianity revolutionized schmeck and marriage. You just let me know when you're done.
No, I'm done when I'm fucking done. If you can't handle a woman running her own show, you can leave too. I'm done with you. I'm really tired of, let me know when you're done. Let me know when you're done. I don't know why I'm going to laugh at you when you say something so stupid. First of all, the Bible didn't even get their laws. They didn't come up with them on their own. They stole them from other people. So there's nothing that the Bible brought to the table that was brand new. So whoever said that's a fucking moron. He didn't ever read his history. Okay, Jesus had not a new thought in his head.
What scholar was that? I wonder.
I don't know. Some agnostic.
Sound like a bunch of horse shit.
It is not true
I
that most
just,
scholars believe Jesus directly taught human rights in the modern sense, nor that his teachings are the sole or primary origin of the concept of human rights. There are scholars who believe that the theology framed what is happening in modern society, but not all human rights. Jesus didn't even come up with the shit that he said, okay? He was not revolutionary. Nothing he said was new. Professor, trust me, bro. Yeah, I think that's who it was. It was Professor, trust me, bro.
well, like the
Now, I'm
Code
kind of
of
snowflakey
Hammurabi
today,
is
I'll admit.
from around 1750 BCE. So, like, I don't know. Like, these are not novel ideas. Like, clearly, yeah, that was going on. But that was going on during biblical times. Like, your Abrahamic God had many opportunities to do something about it, and he never did. So,
Yeah, he never did.
and
He did,
again,
and slavery.
Jesus never spoke out against slavery. So, I don't know.
I know you. I know we're so. Listen, I know that I'm booting people a little fast today. I just. Every once in a while, there's days where I don't know. I just don't have the tolerance level for it, and today was one of those days. I just don't have the tolerance for somebody talking down to me, condescending to me, and then telling me like, "Oh, can I talk now? Can I talk? Can I talk now?" Yeah, we're interrupting you because you're saying stupid shit. That's all there is to it. Following in Jesus's misogynistic footsteps is what they said on YouTube. That's hilarious to me. Oh, I'm sorry, Rowdy. I did see you in the box. Let me bring you up. I'm sorry, Rowdy. I forgot I saw you in there.
Hello,
Good morning, Rowdy. How are you today?
I'm doing well. So,
Are you a Christian or believer of the God of the Bible, and are you over 18?
no, I am
Okay.
56, but I'm agnostic atheist. I
Okay.
did want to make a short comment, if I may. Like,
Absolutely. Go
the
right ahead.
difficulty with believing in the Bible is that you just lose your common sense. So, if you think about human beings and you think about our evolution, it seems fairly obvious that we learn our principles from experience. So even back 200,000 years with early hominids, they were having experiences and they were assessing afterwards what the best principles were out of those experiences. For instance, I'll just give you a likely narrative. This is not history. This is just a likely narrative. So if there were two clans that were fighting, and the leader of one of the clans jumped in the middle of a fray and sacrificed themselves to save 10 people, after that battle, which they would have won, it would have been easy for the people to assess that that sacrifice was a good thing. So out of that experience, just that human experience, the idea, the high principle of sacrifice, and perhaps even salvation would have been demonstrated to be a good principle. It was only when a religion came along in its organized sense and decided, oh, we should say that our best principles come from God, and we'll incorporate those into our belief system and into our books. Then
Yes.
it was that religion took a hold of human rights and, our morality. So I just want people to sort of wake up and realize that morals existed long before Christianity. The greatest human principles existed long before the Bible was ever written. So it's just basic human good sense that will lead you to these kinds of common conclusions.
This is, by the way, the second guy who's come up here today to talk to me. And then I get it. I talked over you. I get it. I cuss. I get it that I can be loud or a little passionate when I speak. But you never hear them describing a man as screeching when they talk, okay? But I was screeching at him. Again, Saucy, I'm going to tell you like I've been telling the other guys, miss me with that misogyny. I didn't want to hear what you had to say because you're a fucking idiot. Okay? That's why I didn't want to hear what you had to say. Yeah, you quoted one agnostic scholar. I don't even know who you quoted, so I don't even know if they're a scholar, to be honest with you. But your claim was that all scholars, but you couldn't prove that. Thank you, Rowdy. I appreciate you. You couldn't prove that. So you brought up one who said something so fucking stupid that I laughed. And that bothered you because I laughed at you. Men cannot stand it when a woman laughs at them. They hate that. And yeah, I laughed at you because it was stupid as fuck. I don't know why people can't mute people in the comments right now. My other mods are having that problem too, Lowen. I'm going to check your moderator things. It said, yeah, you have all... It says comment settings, turn commenting on and off, manage keywords, manage mute rules, and review filtered comments. It is turned on. You can mute accounts, you can block accounts, you can do polls. I don't know why it's not letting my mods moderate.
It's letting me.
That's weird. I don't know why.
I have the option to mute, but...
You guys, for everybody who's just joining, it's so good to see you. Hi, Holly. Some of you have been here for a while, but I couldn't say hi before. Hi, Clara. Hi, Lowen. Hi, Three Pigs. Hi, Darvel. Hi, Open Book. Maryam, if you want to come up and talk to me, you can, because I'm not talking about if you find out after you unalive. I'm talking about if you find out while you're still alive. Mama Chicken, how are you? I said Three Pigs. I meant Three Pips. I said three
Okay, I thought I heard that, but I was like...
I just realized I said
Whatever.
3 pigs. I meant 3 pips. I didn't mean
Close
pigs. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry, Pips. You know I love you. I didn't mean that. Hey, Angel. Hello, everybody over on the YouTubes. We've got some people watching over on the vertical and the horizontal. Thank you so much for watching over there. If you are on the horizontal, I know you like that. That's fine. Could you just go over to mine real quick and just subscribe to me? And if you're over here on TikTok and you have a Gmail account, if you could go subscribe to me, do it under every Gmail account you are. Great too. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 6 something. I'm close to 700 now. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I sometimes beat myself up about these goals because I am not a cute little Canadian in a sweater, right? And I can't sing like Joel can. I'm not some dude with cute nail polish on who can sing, who's in Southern California. I'm not him either. I'm none of those people. And then I always think, oh, they got there so much faster than me or whatever. But I forget how many people never reach any of these goals who try. And I reach a lot of my goals, and you guys are the reason I do. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. Thank you. I really feel like I have come.
We need to acknowledge where all of that Canadians' ideas came from.
Right.
Too.
Right.
Right? Like
it's obviously we
Come on,
that
guys.
I'm the real talent behind the scenes, okay? Love this. Yeah. Hey, Solo Vino, how are you today? Welcome in. You guys, okay, I guess I told you I was going to change the topic a while ago. I didn't do it only because we started to have a few people. I would never slander Joel. It's just
we're just
just setting the record
stating
straight a little, maybe.
Historical facts, so nobody gets it twisted. That's all. Should I wear my horns to the gym, Crystal?
Okay, here we go. This one's the one I want.
Did you hear my question, Crystal?
Okay, for some reason I couldn't answer. Yes, you should.
Yeah, okay,
You
I should.
definitely.
I should wear my.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
They're, I mean, fairly secure. I mean, I can move around quite a bit without that much issue.
Hi, Lowen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. What's new?
I finished my. I don't know. Did I ever tell you about my TMS treatment?
No, huh?
It's for depression. It's like an alternative treatment for depression, and it's like a very intensive treatment. There's like 36 sessions total, and it's like a daily thing you got to do.
Wow.
And I just finished it today, so that was pretty awesome.
Has it been helping you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I still
that's
struggle with
great.
like. Yeah, I still struggle with like motivation and stuff like that, but like the depression itself has like gone way down.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah, I'm
Did you
happy
say
with
it was called?
TMS or transcranial magnetic stimulation.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
I have not heard of that.
yeah, it's FDA approved and everything, so they have evidence and backing that it actually works. And
Yeah.
I was surprised because I've tried every medicine under the sun, and for me personally, it just wasn't working, and so I came off of them with my doctor's guidance, and then started this treatment, and it's done more for me than medicine ever has.
That's awesome.
That's
yeah,
really
it's
cool.
crazy.
So you don't have to keep doing it, or
No, it's so it lasts about maybe a month and a half. You go in daily. The first session is like a mapping session, so they basically have this magnet that sends these pulses to your brain, and they're trying to stimulate a nerve in your hand to where it twitches. And when they do that, tells them they're in the right location to send the pulses for the. I can't remember all the science behind it, but they disrupt the depression signals, and it forces your brain to grow new pathways for those thoughts and stuff. It's really complicated, but it's really interesting at the same time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm glad it's working.
That's really awesome. Me too.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, I will be live for about 1 more hour unless we meet our gift goal. And so far, I just can't get Christians to come in. I mean, I have had some. But the first few did not want to talk about it because that would make them find out they were wrong. And they could not handle that, so they didn't want to talk about it. And then the last few, I just lost my patience.
They don't want spiritual doubt.
Yeah, they didn't want no spiritual doubt because we might take their security blanket away if we put a little doubt in their head. You would think that their God is bigger than doubt. You would think that the Holy Spirit was bigger than doubt. I'm starting to find out that this God is very impotent. He really is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like he's not there. It's weird.
Almost.
It's almost. It's I don't know. You guys, I forgot to update my little thermometer, but that's my thermometer. I'm trying to get to $1,000 to update my computer equipment because I have a laptop from COVID days, like 2020, okay? And it was not fast enough then to do what I needed it to do. So every time you gift or, send me a tip over on the tipping places you can do in my bio, that money goes straight to helping me update my equipment, just in case you wanted to know. It is a thermometer.
Bro, Armand, have you
Thermometer,
been here
meter.
the entire time?
No,
Like,
I
just lingering, waiting. Aren't you
I just
still
came back, bro.
worried about spiritual doubt?
No, bro, I just
You're
came
back.
I'm back.
Yeah, okay,
Well,
you
I'm
haven't
gonna
been
let
here the entire
Lowen
time,
and Seth
seething.
talk to him.
Hey, I was wondering, does that crystal in your name, does that mean you like mess around with crystals and stuff, like amethyst and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do.
I'm
do?
pretty sure that's her actual name. I mean,
No, I'm
my
not, brother.
fucking
I'm
name.
not asking you. I wasn't talking to you.
It's my name. My
okay.
name is Crystal.
Is that part of your spiritual practice, like messing with crystals and
I
stuff?
don't have a spiritual practice. I'm an ig-theist with an I. I'm an
So-
ig-theist.
Do you believe those crystals have like properties and little magical properties and stuff?
Dude, my name is Crystal. That's my fucking name.
I thought you were just passionate about like crystals and stuff.
No, my name
That's
is
what I
really
just told you,
Crystal.
but
That's
oh,
my
you're not
name.
talking to me.
Yeah, because I can't track A and B, C conversation. I just have to just like one-on-one. Sorry, it's overwhelming.
My name is Crystal.
I see. Sorry to get that confused.
It's
Why is
not
he wearing-
CrystalJae. I just.
Why is he
like
wearing devil
J.
horns?
Halloween?
You just felt like cosplaying the devil
Season?
today? or
Because I
what?
want to.
Are you? Can I ask you real questions, Armand? Are you actually scared of a red devil? Do you really think the devil is red, has horns, and carries a pitchfork?
I mean, here's the thing. There's different realms that we can't see. I can't tell you exactly how he might look in another realm.
Because even as a Christian, I didn't think he looked like that. When I was a Christian, I thought that spirits were more invisible
it's
forces. I
just
don't
a
think.
Just a fallen
I
angel.
didn't think they
playing
were
on
really
people's fears.
red. I didn't really think he was
Wait.
red with the horns and the
Playing on
pitchfork.
people's
So if you did,
fears. Is that what you said?
if you wait, before you get into that, if somebody wore red and had horns and a pitchfork when I was a Christian, I just thought they were silly because obviously devil doesn't really look like that. So it didn't bother me and I didn't really care and it didn't seem scary or intimidating, and nor did I think they were going to hell, because literally to me they were kind of mocking the devil, and that's kind of funny as a Christian to have somebody
As we
mocking
should.
the devil. Right. So why would you give a fuck that he's wearing red horns
I
and
was
a
asking for
pitchfork?
I wasn't asking for other than just being curious.
Okay.
Like, because he's showing
All
his
right,
face.
go ahead,
and stuff.
Seth. You were going to say something to him. What were you going to
Oh,
say?
I just thought it was really interesting that you said something about playing on people's fears,
Yeah, that's what
because
this world does.
that's entirely what religion does.
No, not God.
Like that's
God
the
is in a
whole
loving way.
reason. That's fine, but that's what I'm talking about now.
Yeah, the
is
devil
that's-
doesn't do it in a loving way. That's the separation. There's the difference.
So you can play on people's fears in a loving way.
No, it's just like if you listen to me, that's what's best for you, and if you don't listen, then you should be fearful. The devil doesn't care about the best for someone. Just wants to ruin.
God doesn't either. God only
sure
cares about what's
does.
best for him. No,
Not
he doesn't.
true.
He tells you over and over again it's only his will. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He's going to do what he wants. He's going to have his will. It will be done whether you play the game or not.
That's true.
Yeah, don't you think that saying to somebody like "love me" or "burn" is
It's not that simple though.
the definition of playing on somebody's fears?
It's not that simple. It's not love me or burn. It's not that simple.
Yes, it is. It's very
What
simple.
what else is
You
there
either
to it?
accept Jesus
person gets
Christ
judged
in your
individually,
heart,
bro.
soul, and mind. No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You can't. No, you don't.
If you live in the
either
mountain and you're a
accept
monk, you're going to get judged
Jesus-
differently than someone who's living in California. It's like pretty.
No, you're not.
Yeah, because they don't have
Tell me
access
where
to a
it says
Bible.
that. Give me the Bible verse. Give me the Bible verse.
Like what God judges is what's on the heart.
No, that I don't have to accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior to be
It doesn't
saved.
matter. Every knee shall bow. It doesn't matter.
First of all, knees don't bow, and no, they won't.
do.
That's
Doesn't
if
matter.
every knee shall bow, then nobody
doesn't
has
matter.
free will. Because you're saying then nobody has free will. Because if in the end, no matter what we do or what we choose, we'll be forced to bow, it means nobody has free will. And by the way, knees bend. They don't
No,
bow.
no. You're not getting it.
Yes, I do. I do get it. You just can't bring up one Bible verse to back up anything you've said today. You haven't done it once.
I've actually done it multiple times.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I said he judges the heart, and then I said every knee shall bow. You think
I
haven't-
said, bring me the Bible verses.
I just did. I just brought you scripture.
No, you haven't.
Those aren't verses.
You're just saying words. Those aren't the
Those
verses.
are verses. Those are verses.
Those are
Thank
just
you very
words.
much.
Those aren't
And you
the
can paraphrase
verses.
verses. Thank you very much.
Where are they?
No.
What do
No,
you mean?
you
They're in
can't.
your
You
Bible.
cannot.
Go download the Bible app.
You don't. So you don't know where they are because
Where?
you don't read this
Oh,
Bible.
because I can't tell you
just
exactly
believe
which
something you were
prophet or which
indoctrinated
author
into.
said it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Okay.
made up.
Why are
Yeah,
you
because
judging
you're
me?
supposed to fucking know your Bible, pumpkin.
I almost said something. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to God because He's the only one that matters.
That's so true. I didn't know you were a believer.
No, I'm not a believer. I just know He's the only one that matters to you. And He only matters to you when He wants to matter. Because if you want to go out and do something wrong today, even if it's a little wrong, even if it's only wrong between you and God, you're going to do it. And then you're going to excuse it away and say,
I feel bad
well,
about it.
God loves me anyway.
No, there's repentance.
Because you don't give a shit about people. You don't give a shit about anybody but yourself.
That's not true.
No, it's true.
Believe me, it's not. And I don't know where you're getting that to say that. Because like you've known what sacrifices I've made for other people.
You haven't made any
No, you haven't.
sacrifices.
What the hell have you done?
What do you mean, what have I done?
Yeah.
What do you mean, what have I done?
Yeah, you're trying to call me out for my purpose. What have you done?
I actually care about other people. I help people every day.
And what is that? What do you do?
Well, I just became a board member on a nonprofit organization that helps people in our community. We
How do you know
haven't
that
done our
organization
first.
isn't stealing people's money?
Excuse me,
and
can I
just saying
finish?
it's a
Can I
nonprofit?
finish? Did you want to know what I do? Or do
No,
you
I
just
don't.
want to talk over me?
I want to talk over
Then
you.
why'd you ask the question?
He doesn't want to know.
Why'd you ask the question?
Because you try to come at my purpose first and say that I haven't sacrificed.
And now that I have done things, you don't want to hear it because it means that you were wrong.
No, it doesn't.
And you don't do shit. You're not helping a nonprofit organization. You don't help the homeless. You don't help people who
Are you
need
sure?
medicine. You don't help people rehome
sure?
their dogs. You don't help people
you
get to
sure?
safe homes when they need a safe
Are you
place.
sure? You know me?
Yeah, I know I do now. Because what you did was the minute I was going to tell you what I did, you shut me up because you had nothing to come back
Okay,
with.
so how do you know that? How do you know my what I've done in my life?
I just told you why. Do you listen?
Yeah, but where are you gathering that information about me?
I just told you how I gathered it. Listen.
Yeah, from where?
From this conversation, Pumpkin, you're telling
You
on
don't know
yourself.
me. You don't know me.
You're telling on yourself.
No, you don't know me.
Okay.
To be able to speak on my life and say there's no purpose, you don't know me.
Right now, the topic is the Abrahamic God is not safe for women or children. Do you want to talk
Okay,
about
are you
that?
safe? Are you safe for women or children? Because the way you've been speaking, I don't think you're safe for women or children.
I am a woman, you idiot.
You are no, yeah, but you're insulting. That's not safe for children. You're calling
All
names.
right,
You're saying
let's
idiot.
see.
You're saying
I
stupid.
want to see.
Is that safe for
a
children?
lot
Are
of
you
it-
teaching
you
children?
know
Is that
what?
safe?
There's
Is that safe?
30 people in this chat, and maybe they should let me know because maybe you're right. So you guys put a 1 in the chat if I'm
Oh,
safe for
bias.
women and children,
Bias.
and put a 2 in the chat if I am not safe for women and children. Let's go. Let's see.
Judge and you will be judged. I don't know.
Seen a lot of ones.
Yeah, this is bias. These are your fangirls.
Not all of them are my fans. I hate to tell you that. I have a lot of enemies going into my chat.
Yeah, but in my
Just to-
opinion, you
just to
insulting
hate
another
watch,
person
okay?
is not safe for children or women.
Well, I wouldn't do it in front of children. And insulting a man is the best thing for women. Trust me. Trust me.
What do you think is more harmful to children, Armand? Crystal swearing or the kinds of shit that they're told in church about
Which is what
how they're sinful, they're going to go to hell if they don't do the right thing. You know, do you think it's good to fill children's heads with the ideas that, you know what I mean?
This is what separation from God.
Can you show me where the Bible says that?
I could not pull that up for you, no.
I know you can't. You haven't been able to pull up anything because you're quoting scripture that isn't there. It does not say that.
I don't need you to justify me.
If God is omnipresent, you can't fucking be separated from him.
When you use words like that and are unable to control your tongue, you do separate yourself from God.
Hey, listen, motherfucker, cock-sucking cunt licker. I'll
like,
talk how I fucking want on my fucking life. Just because you are a cock-sucking cunt licker doesn't mean that my points aren't valid.
Prove my point.
The fact that you are an adult and can't handle when somebody says the F word is not my
You
problem.
literally proved me right. It's crazy.
I don't care. I proved you right that I cuss. Hey, you guys, did you know that I cuss? Spoiler alert, you guys, I'm almost 60 and I say the F word. Like, what the fuck, dude? Quit crying. It's so ridiculous.
All you've done up here is whine. You haven't said anything with substance.
No, literally, Crystal, you haven't.
No, you
Yeah,
are.
I haven't.
No, Crystal, you haven't at all.
That's so funny, Armand. Logic, welcome to the panel. How are you today?
Hey, how you guys doing? I see the.
Good.
I see we have somebody who has a problem with words, and words affect their mind. Interesting. I want to know why words would affect your words more than you realize, my friend. I know. It sounds kind of sad. I hear you sighing.
Words affect us, so I don't know what you're getting at. When someone tells you yes, you're going to be happy. If someone tells you no, you're going to be upset. So I don't know what you're trying to prove.
No, that's not it. I don't know why you're going into that direction.
That's
Is that
exactly what you
is
did.
not a free jail card to not answer?
That's exactly what
Anywhere
you
he
did.
can pivot.
You said words affect you. Yeah, words affect all of us. Someone tells you you're pretty, you're going to be excited. If someone insults you, you're going to be off.
Yeah, but how long you decide to entertain those and allow them to affect your mind, that's a different story. And the
talking
Also,
more
it's
you...
never affected me when somebody said
I'm just saying,
Never.
like, if you were given a mouth blessed by God, why would you want to curse?
Oh,
A
because
mouth
God didn't
blessed
give
by
me
God,
this
you have
mouth, pumpkin.
Oh, sorry. Go
You
ahead.
have a mouth that is able to speak and articulate ideas. Why do you have garbage coming out of it?
How do you know it came from
Because
God?
I like to say
God created everything. What do
You
mean?
got to prove that.
I don't need
prove
to.
that shit.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't, because I know you guys
And
aren't
you're gonna
believers.
make that
You did,
claim
then I
on
don't-
me?
I'm gonna dust my feet off and move on.
Yeah, you're not a
All right,
Christian.
bye.
Can
I
you
don't
do
believe
that?
You believe in
God.
God. I just think you're making
Yeah,
stuff up.
Move on.
You're annoying as
Bye.
fuck, dude.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, poor
Okay.
guy. I love how he's bringing up.
I gotta go to the gym, Crystal. I love you. Thanks for
Okay,
having me.
Seth, I love you. I
Oh,
love
too
you.
bad. Hey, Seth, before you leave, let me. I just want to make sure I'm. Anyways, there you go. I wanted to subscribe to you. Anyways, go to the gym and have fun.
All right. Thanks. Later.
All right, peace. Bye.
Bye, Seth. Have a great day. You guys, I love Seth. If you guys don't know, Benny and Seth are partners, and I love them. They are Benny and the Seth. Hey, Tommy J! That's my twin right there. How are you? Words, army. What? What is he saying? What is that? Did you guys read that?
What did it say? Hold on.
It says words, ENGGER, poor, army. What?
Wow. Yeah, can you elaborate, please?
I don't know. Anyway,
I gotta say
yeah.
this. I wanted to say this. I found that funny when I asked him to prove his God, he decided to run away.
Yeah. That's kind of been the whole deal today, by the way. I don't know how long you've been here, Logic, but I started today with the topic, what if you're wrong?
Yep.
I think Armand was one of the people who came up and said that he doesn't even want to think about that. And he ran the first time. Then he wanted to keep coming back up many times. And then another man came up, said, Kravis some dumb shit named Kravitz. You've seen him, I'm sure, because he goes on a lot of lives. And then Armand, why are you coming back up? Why? What do you want, dude? Why don't you just go start your own live so you can spew your nonsense there? Why? Why do you want to be on my live?
I thought he was supposed to dust his feet and move on.
I know. I thought you were
He's still there,
I
Brett.
thought you.
Why doesn't he just come back up? I'll tell
Okay,
him.
I'll let you talk to Logic. All right, we'll let
Yeah.
you and Armand talk Logic. I'll just sit here. Lowen and I will just
You
kick
said I
back.
ran away from proving my God. I want to know exactly what would be proof for you. What would you accept this?
That's a
Is that
very
something
good.
is
I'll tell you
legitimate?
what's proof. Here you go. Here you go. If you want to be able, I'll give you an example of things proof. So I've worked in the science field. I've dealt with radiation before. You know, radiation is 100% invisible to all of our human senses. You do realize that, right?
Okay.
Okay. So we have now mechanisms to detect this invisible element that we have. We also have many instruments to detect things that are going out in space, like black holes and so forth. But how do we do this with your God? That's what I want to know.
Wait, what?
How do we do
How
this
do we
with
do
your
that with
God?
your
How
God?
do you detect it?
I mean, I think one of his biggest characteristics is kind of staying a mystery to us so that we are tested, you know?
So you need to live in a delusion, is what you're saying. Just believe in a delusion.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you were honest. I'll give him credit for that. So being delusional is better than actually looking for evidence. Is that correct?
Well, I think he would be more willing to show himself to someone who says they know nothing rather than someone who says they know everything, if that makes sense. Because one person's humble, another person is prideful.
You Christians are the most prideful, arrogant, egotistical people. Always.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd say you
You
are.
show
My
nothing
God,
but
this is
arrogance
what my
since you've been here this morning.
How?
Jeepers, what
Wow.
an embarrassment saying that.
You
Tell me how.
that
Tell
is
me how.
really embarrassing. You guys call yourself special, you're set apart, you're fucking holy.
That's what holy
You're
means, is
fucking,
set apart.
everything is amazing. I know. You know what? It doesn't mean what you think it means, though. Even murderers were holy. Did you know
Of course. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
that? You knew that.
Yeah.
Because most Christians tell me that murderers weren't holy, but they were. They were set apart for God's destruction.
Yeah.
So
I think
they're
that's-
considered holy. So you'll go. Sometimes I have Christians come up here and tell me all the time, like, well, the thing is, you need to just, search out holiness. Okay, I'll murder somebody and then I'll be
No,
holy.
no.
Will that work for you?
Well, you should do like God. You should do a blood sacrifice as a loophole for rules and regulations that he creates. So he can create more suffering because he can't figure out how to forgive. So blood sacrifices work. So therefore, that must be the holier and higher thing. Is that correct?
I think so. But hang on one second. Whoa, who's that girl? Are you a Christian believer of the God of the Bible? And are you over 18?
I was raised Catholic, and yes, I'm 43.
Okay, and do you still believe in the God of the Bible?
So, for me, I had a little bit of a difference on this because I'm illiterate when it came to the Bible. So it was taught to me. I didn't actually read it. And I think I kind of got lucky because I do not believe the way that the Christians and the Catholics of today do based off of my teachings.
Okay, but are your
I don't
teachings
know.
biblical, or do you guys just kind of make them up as you go along?
So growing up, if I had a question, I was afraid to ask in the church, right? Because you're not supposed to question anything, right? And I remember telling my grandma, I was around 5 or 6, and I remember learning that lesson, well, you're not supposed to question, you're not supposed to question. And so I went in and I asked my grandma, if we're not to question the Lord, how are we supposed to hear his answers?
Well,
'Cause that's on anything,
It's
right?
not biblical to not question, by the way. That's just something that pastors don't want you to do because then you'll catch them when they're wrong. Okay, but that's not
Okay.
biblical. Hang on one second. Can you give me the Bible verses where it talks about seeking out wisdom, seeking out truth, how the truth will set you free, and how knowledge is important?
No, because I don't read the Bible.
Not you,
I
not
can't.
you. I'm getting.
Oh,
I'm not for you. I'm getting them from my computer here. Okay. So let's
My
go to
bad. I
Proverbs
forgot you
2,
could talk
2
to
through
computers.
6. Make your ear attentive to wisdom and incline your heart to understanding. If you indeed cry out for insight and raise your voice for understanding, if you seek it like silver and search for it as for hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God, for the Lord gives wisdom, for his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Proverbs 4, 5 through 7. Get wisdom, get insight. Do not forget, nor turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will keep you. Love her, and she will guard you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, and whatever else you get insight. And we can go on and on. It's in the New Testament too. Then Jesus said to the Jews who had believed in him, if you continue in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know truth, and truth will make you free. So we want to know about the truth because the truth sets us free, right? So all I'm saying is if this God and this Bible isn't true, even it tells us that wisdom and truth are very important. And I want to know the true things. And I don't think the true thing is that this God is real. And I do think the true thing is that the Abrahamic God is not safe for women or children.
And from my teachings, I can't speak for any other Christian or Catholic because they come at me when I say this on this app, and I still believe it. God is not real. He was not human. Because we don't believe, I was not taught that Jesus was God. That's the Son.
Okay.
So my grandma basically said God is a divine light so bright that no human can rest eyes upon him. That's what she told me.
Yeah.
And so
Where did she get that from?
It was
Where did
just
she
having
get
faith.
that from?
You know,
So
I don't
she just
know. The
made
only
that
thing
up?
no, I'm not saying that. The only thing I know about her past and her religious is she was taken away from her home and raised in a convent. That's all I know about her past.
So these are just Christian teachings, and they're wrong.
Right.
Can I add-
And so I see the hypocrisy in it, and you guys are right. We can't prove it.
Can I
He's not
add
real.
something real quick? Sorry to interrupt, but I can vouch to that because when I was studying to be a Christian pastor in theology, and I was studying theology, one of the things was that was kind of a common thing that was not in the Bible. It was actually taught as a way to try to explain why we couldn't see it. I remember that was very common. Another thing that was common that we used to say, well, what happens if we see fossil bones or whatever? Just God plant those there to test our faith. So there's always and now there's new apologetic excuses. My friend who is out, he ended up being a pastor. He's left now, and he doesn't believe in this stuff. Because one thing I'll say this, you go study theology, that's where people turn into atheists. That's where I left it. A lot of my friends became pastors, but didn't buy into the stuff because once you actually read the Bible and study the origins of it, it falls apart real fast.
Well, I want to correct one thing. Okay, I want to correct one thing. I know why people say it. I'm very well aware. Okay, and it is because the Bible contradicts itself on this very topic. Okay. But the part about the bright light is something that is not biblical as far as like the light is so bright you won't be able to see it. That's not biblical. That's something somebody made up. And when people come up here and say, well, my grandma said this and I just believe in some, I can't argue with that. Y'all made up a God and you want to believe it? Okay, but that's not this God and there's no evidence for that God. And fuck, your God can have any attributes or characteristics I guess you want it to have because you're just making it up as you go along, but that doesn't do anything. This God is horrible. But here are the verses if you guys want them. No one can see God is Exodus 33:20. But he said, you cannot see my face, for no one shall see me and live. John 1:18. No one has ever seen God. It is God It is God, the only Son, who is close to the Father's heart, who has made him known. 1 Timothy 6:16. It is he alone who has immortality and dwells in unapproachable, this is where it is. I'm sorry. This is probably where she gets from. Unapproachable light, whom no one has ever seen or can see. To him be honor and eternal dominion. Amen. 1 John 4:12, no one has ever seen God. If we love one another, God lives in us and his love is perfected in us. But then we find out that all of those were all in the New Testament basically. And well, I think I read one from Exodus or whatever, but are lies, because now we're going to go back. Exodus 33:11. Thus the Lord used to speak to Moses face to face as one speaks to a friend. Exodus 24:9-11. Then Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel went up. And they saw the God of Israel. Under his feet there were something like a pavement of sapphire stone, like the very heaven of clearness. God did not lay his hand on the chief men of Israelites. Also, they beheld God, and they ate and drank. Numbers 12:6-8. He said, hear my words. When there are prophets among, and this is God speaking, by the way. When there are prophets among you, I, the Lord, make myself known to them in visions. I speak to them in dreams. Not so with my servant Moses. He is entrusted with all my house. With him I speak face to face, clearly, not in riddles. And he beholds the form of the Lord. So it's actually quite contradictory. Lowen, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to mention that, the whole not being able to look at God isn't even purely a Christianity thing. We see it with gods and goddesses and other religions, such as like Greek mythology, like when or if they show their true form, that like if a mortal is to set eyes upon them, they will like basically evaporate.
The other people who do that are children.
Because he did.
The other people.
Let's see. We've got many examples, right? Supposedly in our own Bible that teaches this. So, what I don't get, and where I think I understand this connect, is who said this God is great and loving, right? And he's going to protect you, right? Because if you look at the Bible itself, it shows us these examples, correct? And none of them we can prove, but if you're going to believe it, you got to believe it. But yeah, no, there was the great flood. There was the unaliving of the firstborn. Nothing about this God is gentle or great. He's very vengeful and he can punish us. And I think as long as you're not spreading hate and you're not trying to convert and you're not being hateful about it, I keep my religion to myself and I just go about my way. And I don't sit there. If someone asks me about it, I say, well, if you're interested in it, you can either come to church with me and I can show you where I went to church, or you can choose your own church. But I don't agree with the Catholics and Christians of today, the way they speak about people, how they treat people.
But you go to a Christian church?
I don't go to church. I don't know.
You just said that they could come to church with you.
Well, I have a church that I used to go to, yes, the church that I grew up in. Like, I know where the churches are in my place, in other words, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, he's real and you have to do this and he's great. And if you don't do that, because, we all, through our life experiences, we change our perception, just like me, being pro-choice. They say you can't be pro-choice and Catholic. That's fine. That's their opinion. But I think you have to be logical and you have to look at things the way they are and for what they are, and everything that the book that they weigh so heavily and they use, they don't even realize how many times that thing has been cherry picked and republished to fit a narrative. And then it's screamed at you.
I don't like to use that as an example because they try to use that on us too. And here's the bottom line. From the oldest text that we have, our ability to translate it now is better than it ever has been. So the translations we're reading are not butchered. They're not cherry picked. We are literally reading from the best translations that we've ever had in history. So
right, and
you can cherry pick that yourself if you do it. But what I'm saying is, just like that is exactly what they say to us atheists. You're just cherry picking and the Bible has been translated so many times. No, it hasn't. They didn't go, okay, we're going to translate this into Hebrew, and now we're going to take this Hebrew, translate it into Greek, and then we're going to take this Greek and translate it into, that's how they used to do it. But then we found the Dead Sea Scrolls, and we found a lot of older transcripts that we could go directly to the source and translate it now into modern languages, and that's what we do.
I guess what she's saying is about.
I meant by that by saying people always ask me what version of the Bible, and I'm like, what do you mean? What version of the Bible did I?
Well, because there's different translations of the Bible.
Yeah.
By the way, there's only one that calls itself a version, and that's King James, and that's because it was not translated so much as it was taken from a previously English translated Bible, and then it was used for political purposes. But otherwise, they're called translations because they use something previous in a different language to translate into English.
Well, and correct me if
And
I'm
yes, the
wrong. I wonder if
RSVUE
Mary
is the closest.
Yeah, I wonder if Mary knows that Jesus converted to Christianity.
Mary,
Wasn't
wait, Jesus
weren't they
couldn't have
Jewish?
wait,
they Jewish?
Jesus couldn't have transferred to Christianity because that would mean he worshipped himself, and he didn't worship himself. A Christian just follows
Right.
Jesus. Jesus was a Jew.
Right. So yeah, when they say, "Well, Jesus is a Christian," and I'm like, "Well, does Mary know?"
Can't be.
It's just these little
Yeah.
things that I hear, and I'm like, "Wait a second," So I guess I'm on the same page with you guys. But yeah, I don't get mad at people who don't believe. That's fine. It's not for me to choose. But yeah, so I think you guys are right, and I don't think anybody is wrong in this situation, except for those who are doing the B rating and the name calling, who are supposedly supposed to worship this God where everything is a sin for everybody else, but not them. And I don't agree with that. I just don't.
Can I ask you a question real quick? It sounds like kind of like some people that I know and my sister. It sounds like even though you're on your own, it sounds like I like my sister's viewpoint of Christianity. There's no hell and damnation. It's just strictly. It's almost like they made God out to be like Buddha, where it's like, let's be this really good person and let's try to do the best that we can to this world. And I'm actually fine with that Christianity. I have no problem with it. I would love to see more Christians be less hateful and brimstone and segregating and all that other stuff. I'm just wondering, is that kind of where you're hanging out in, kind of a more relaxed, liberal form of Christianity? Is that it?
For Catholicism, yes, because I'm tattooed. I smoke, I drink, I cuss.
Oh no, you're going to hell.
Oh gosh, I'm going to that eternal damnation, right? Well, here's my point of view. My relationship with God is my own.
Yeah.
If I make it up to heaven, that is no one's decision. If he is there and there is this place called heaven, I believe heaven has a smoking section in a trailer park, right? So if I do get up there, it's only God's decision whether I can stay up there, right? And whether I can join. And so I just tell everybody that's like, oh, well, then I'm a Catholic and I'm a Christian and I know you're not. I say, well, then you know what? I'm walking in my own little elevated world with God, and I'm fine with that. And they get so mad at me. And I'm like, we're supposed to be from the same religion, and this is not how I was taught to be a human being. But then you have to think I'm in my 40s as well. So I've had some life experiences that showed me, well,
It sounds like
maybe
you're
not.
It sounds like you're still searching in a lot of ways, almost deconstructing, but searching in a different way.
Yeah, because I've lost him. Like, I totally lost faith in him. I hated him for a good long while. A good long
Can I
while.
ask a question, though? I want to ask you the same questions I've talked to my husband about, okay? Because my husband believes in a God, okay? We don't know his name. It doesn't even matter. But why hold on to this God? Like, why do you think it's this God when he's shown you over and over again that he's fucking horrible? And Jesus wasn't a good guy. Jesus was a fucking asshole too. Why the fuck would you worship a God who hated women? Why don't you call him something else? Why don't you go away from this and go, you know what? My God is all loving. That God wasn't all loving. My God doesn't give a fuck that I have nicotine. Okay, he doesn't give a fuck about that. He cares about people who are hungry. That's what my God cares about. That is not this God. That is not this God.
Yeah.
And you can
So I
call him
don't believe
something
in
else.
just
Call him
one.
Hank.
Oh yeah, no, I don't
But
believe
this
in just
one
him.
is
Like,
not real. This one's not
yes,
real.
I'm spiritual, right? Because I believe in the Greek gods. You know, all of those, Aphrodite, all of them, Zeus. I know that, you know, the indigenous have their own spiritual, what they call it, and their own practices. Like, I know that there's different ones out there, and I can recognize them all. And I think you just take the good and bad with everything. And it's me coming up the way I did in a Catholic home.
We did
And
too.
so when
We came
people,
up in Christianity too. And then we were like, hey, cool. Love some of the stuff Grandma taught me. But now that I've done the research, this God
right.
in this book named Yahweh did not exist, was not real, and Jesus never resurrected. He never walked on water. He never turned water into wine. And he thought women were pieces of shit. So I'm not going to worship him. I'm going to call my God Hank, and I'm going to worship Hank because Hank loves me. Hank doesn't care that I use nicotine. Hank loves people for who they are and meets them where they're at. But this God will no longer be called Jesus because Jesus has shown me that he is not a good God, and I will not use his name anymore because that name is synonymous with the Orange Cheeto who is sitting in office right now taking away all our rights. And when I wear that badge, I might as well be wearing something that somebody wore in the 1940s that set them apart.
Hear, hear. Yes.
Yeah, we can look at it, and you're right. Yeah, we can look at it that way too. Just like I hold no political affiliation. You know,
Me
we all
neither.
have
I'm
our options
independent.
and what we choose, and
And by I hold
I
no
think that's why I
political
reduced it
affiliation
down
does not
to
mean I'm not
God.
political. Okay, just so
Yeah,
y'all
no,
know,
no, you know what
I
I mean?
am not
Like,
a Democrat and I am not a Republican, but I vote
right,
and I fucking stand up for people who are marginalized,
right.
and I always will. And I believe that you have to be involved in politics. If you're not, you are complicit, you are privileged, and you're an asshole. That's where I think if you don't belong in politics, you fucking need to vote.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
the
fine, and
minimum.
everybody has their like
Not
own
you.
viewpoints,
I'm
right?
just
Not why
telling
we're
chat.
America. Yeah, no, but you're right, because we're in America, we can have our own thoughts, feelings, and opinions. And for someone to think that unaliving somebody based on those thoughts, opinions, and views is okay, I can tell you right now that is dead wrong. That, because if you believe that about somebody else, then you better believe it about yourself. If you're not going to accept anybody's argument, if you're not going to be able to take the questions about your faith and deal with it in a calm manner and be able to say, well, yeah, you're right when someone is right, whether you believe it or not, you're fooling yourself. You've got to be logical about it. You really do, because when I was a kid, La La Land, because I didn't experience life, right? Parents were taking care of me. They took me everywhere. They didn't put me in unsafe situations. They made sure I was safe, right? Well, at some point, you have to take those reins into your hands yourself, because God only helps those, this is my belief, God only helps those who help themselves. God's here and he provided for us, but you can't pray for $1 million. He's not going to hand it to you. It's never going to happen. You're going to be waiting. I can guarantee you that. The children, we need to help and get together as a people to feed them. We can't sit here as a Catholic and be like, oh, I'm going to pray to my God and it's going to happen. No.
Why?
We have got to be
Why
active in our
isn't he doing
community.
anything? Why isn't he doing anything? Why is he so fucking lazy? Why is there
Exactly.
a God who does? No, I'm asking you. I want to know why. Why isn't he doing
No,
anything?
I can't. If he's supposed to be all power and all full knowing, right? Why are we still suffering? But then, of course, if you go back to
But
that,
you
then
believe
they
in
start to bring
him,
up the
so why? but you believe in him. Why isn't your God doing anything?
I can't answer that. It's just something in my heart. I don't know if it's God. That's just the term I use because that's the term I know. Maybe I'm just a decent human being. Maybe that's all it is.
I'm a decent human being and I don't need a God for that.
You know, I believe in
Benny
unicorns,
boy,
but they don't
welcome.
exist.
How are you?
I was
But
just
yeah,
gonna
no,
say,
you
yeah.
guys are
I think you're
right,
just a
and
decent human being. I think that's really what it is.
Comes down, yeah. I'm just a
And
decent
stop
human
giving
being.
the
I
credit
guess.
to a God. You're just a good person. And you don't need to give that credit to a God. There is no God doing anything. He doesn't do shit. He watches us all.
Yeah,
And expects us to do all that work, and then he takes all the credit.
Take all of the credit.
Even childbirth.
Give God all of the blame. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Hey,
And
Jimmy,
it's
welcome
awesome,
to
and I'm
the
gonna let
panel.
you go.
Okay,
I've
you
got
can
something to
stay
do.
up if
It
you
was
want.
a great conversation.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming up.
I gotta go. Bye bye.
Have a good day. Jimmy, welcome to the panel. Are you a Christian over the age of 18?
Yes.
Jimmy, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Benny.
When you guys, I saw you and Vuntri, talking in the chat about non-dualism. Are you referring to monism, or some other type of like mind transcendental body relationship? Because
Yeah, I mean, in Christianity, they call it Christ consciousness, but in Eastern philosophy, it's emphasized as non-dualism. It's emphasized in deep states of meditation, where the subject-object dichotomy collapses.
Right. So like everything is one, all are one, Brahma.
Yes.
Okay.
Or Brahmin.
Brahmin. Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering what you guys meant by that, because atheists, I would say, are probably most likely monist, but I would not say they are non-dualist.
Yes. Well, I mean, are you familiar with the perennial philosophy?
I can't say I am, but I mean, if it's anything, basically what I'm saying is that, we're physicalists. The brain is the mind, they're all in one thing. You destroy the brain, you destroy the mind.
Well, okay, so, I guess it would contrast with physicalism in that, according to a physicalist, for them, consciousness is something generated by the brain, whereas a non-dualist sees consciousness as fundamental to reality.
Evidence that the mind and body are separate.
But we also have no evidence that, consciousness is generated by the brain. This is an assumption out of physicalism.
But we do have evidence of that. Like, Phineas Gage. Have you ever heard of the case of Phineas Gage?
Of course I've heard of that case, but that doesn't evidence that, a consciousness is generated by the brain.
Is there any
Can I
other?
ask something?
Please,
Can
go
I
ahead.
ask something?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the split brain experiment? Or
V.S. Ramachandran, of course.
I'm not familiar with that. I don't know if that's the same.
No.
Well, he did a lot of the split brain. I mean, he was famous for a lot of the split brain experiments.
Okay. I don't know too much about it, but I've just heard that, with patients who have, gotten their brain split, they sometimes develop two different consciousnesses.
Yeah, they would split the corpus callosum.
I feel like that would be typical evidence to point toward that the brain has something to do with it.
Well, I have a son that has agenesis of the corpus callosum, so I know exactly, what you're talking about.
Interesting. Yeah, I was just curious on your thoughts on that.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, are you trying to say, and I just want to make sure I'm clear on what you're saying, are you saying that there's something helping or linked to operating our brain? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I like to advocate a lot of the neuroscience surrounding things like mystical experience. I don't know if you guys follow any of that, but they will
I've heard of their claims, but nothing has actually came up to say there's some metaphysical outside source doing it. I mean, people making claims of it, but we have no verification to say that's true. But that's cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the closest we can come to, and to link up to something like the metaphysical claims of the perennial philosophy, for instance. The perennial philosophy is a perspective that sees these mystical experiences riddled throughout religion, such that it's a phenomenon. A physicalist might recognize it as biologically normal, but you have it with the Christian mystics with the revelation of the Holy Spirit, or the Buddhists with nirvana, samadhi with Hinduism, Wu Wei with Taoist, Fana with the Sufi mystics, and so forth. But modern neuroscientific professionals see this as a phenomenon in consciousness that has been going on for perhaps millennia, and they can induce it with certain psychedelics and some of their studies that they've been doing at Johns Hopkins.
But that's all physical.
Well, yes, but no, I mean, they don't reduce it to the physical brain. I understand that a physicalist might do that, but what they say is that this is the.
I'm not reducing it. That's what it is. If I do something that's physical, and then you go, and then that proves metaphysical. No, it didn't. It proves physical. If you are giving me hallucinogens, you're proving physical. You're not proving metaphysical.
Or no, this is what I mean, that when they induce this, they elicit what they call a complete mystical experience in their volunteers. And this is a cross-cultural, cross-religious, throughout all their volunteers. So, that's why they see it as in accordance with their perennial philosophy. And you're welcome to look into this stuff yourself. So they find these experiences converging at the very height of the phenomenon. People are more or less reporting a very similar experience, what you might call non-dual consciousness, or they refer to as a complete mystical experience in the study. Complete meaning it hits all the criteria which constitutes the phenomenon. They go by 6 criteria. And, the study is out of Johns Hopkins.
Every time that we do studies on this, though, we do it with the brain. And if we're doing it all with the brain, seems to me the brain has a connection, and the brain is physical. We know things like from Phineas Gage. You know who Phineas Gage is, right?
Of course.
Okay. So we know that you can, there are personality changes when we do things to affect the brain. We know things like because of temporal lobe epilepsy and tumors, that religious hallucinations and spiritual experiences happen. We know that the Alzheimer's disease progressively destroys memory, and it damages the brain's integrity. We have literally nothing like that for the metaphysical, and when we test it, we use the brain. Go do it.
This is what
in the empty air and prove me metaphysical shit. If every time you're doing it has like you can't, because it doesn't exist.
I don't think a spiritualist denies the neurocorrelates of the brain. So you have 2 models here. So you have in one model that consciousness is generated by the brain, and that's the physicalist model that you refer to. In another model, the spiritualist model, you might say, you could think of the brain as a transceiver of consciousness in a very similar way that a radio picks up a signal. So even if you destroy the radio, it may affect how that signal is perceived. So in an example of Phineas Gage, there are identical results with either model. You have identical results. So you haven't really ruled out the spiritualist or metaphysical view on that by emphasizing someone like Phineas Gage.
They've done research like with NDEs. They've done out-of-body experience research where they've simulated it, asked people to tell them what's behind the doctor, whatever. Nobody can do it. There's literally no evidence for the metaphysical, and whenever they try to test it, they use the brain, which is physical. So it just seems so stupid to me. It's so stupid. Like, obviously, we know the physical exists, and we know the brain is powerful, and we know that there are many things that we can do to cause changes in the brain very easily. So it's just not proving anything metaphysical at all.
So
Lenny,
Jimmy,
you wanted to say something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question, Jimmy. Are morals, are to you, are they kept in the metaphysical, or are they something that are physically created?
Well, see, that's why I find a lot of this research interesting, because now you have a mechanism to explore for a possible candidate for an objective morality. If everyone's having a very similar experience, and one of the criteria is this feelings of unconditional love, what a Christian might call agape, to ground this metaphysical morality that undergirds all religion. You can call it the golden rule. That would be a really good candidate for an objective morality.
But see, to me, morality seems to be like inherently and like just it is intertwined with our physical being, right? So, for instance, like a lot of serial unalivers received like massive head trauma that caused them to become the idea is that this massive head trauma, like Chris Benoit, Aaron Hernandez, those are two kind of famous athletes that were serial unalivers, that their value of human life completely went away after these traumatic brain injuries. So it would seem to me that their morals changed. The same goes for Phineas Gage.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, these are exceptions to the rule, because they are damaging areas of the brain. Jason Padgett would be another example. But, like I said, you still have the same result.
To me, it seems like they are examples of the rule. They're not exceptions.
Well, no.
If you have brain damage, things happen. And often it is a personality trait, which often includes one's own morals. So I don't think that's an exception. I think that is the rule. We know this now for football players by studying traumatic brain injury. We know this now.
No, by exception, I mean that they're not an ordinary case. They're a rare case, and
I'm saying they are. They are when it comes to brain injury. Like having a brain injury can be in and of itself an exceptional case. But once you put them in the brain injury category, we are seeing that that is not an exception to the rule, that is actually what we expect to see.
Yes, and it's what you would expect to see in a spiritualist interpretation as well. There's, like I said, it's purely identical.
We would expect to see what science does when we're doing spiritual things.
Well, because
what use is spirituality? We could just use science then.
Right? Yeah, I guess I guess without the antenna, as you put it in your analogy, then what good is the signal, right?
Well, okay,
so a signal and there's no antennas to pick it up.
The idea behind it in perennialism, the predictive or explanatory factor, is a tendency of mystical experience to reveal the same underlying non-dual reality, regardless of religious or philosophical framework that someone's, regardless of upbringing, their cultural background, everyone so to speak, goes to the same place. And this is what's meant by the non-dual reality. And this is what you find in each one of these studies that, and every single one of these studies done at Johns Hopkins and other universities, they can induce in 70 to 80% of their volunteers what they call the complete mystical experience, where they all report these 6 criteria that are found in all of the world's major religions.
It's a physical response, not
so theoretically,
totally physical.
So I'm getting now into the metaphysics here. Theoretically, are you saying that with technology, if we were able to improve technology enough, we could recreate a human antenna, as it were, to bring somebody back from the spiritual plane? Is that theoretically true in your belief?
Perhaps, but you would have to create something like an artificial consciousness to begin with, to I think attempt something like that.
So consciousness is different from spirituality.
Well, no, I think with Crystal, she's pointing to the physicality, but what the spiritualist is saying is that, yes, they're not denying physicality. They're saying it's intertwined with this metaphysics. That's why,
I disagree. Hang on one second before we keep going. Hang on one second, Jimmy. I'll let you continue. I'm sorry, you guys. I have about 10 more minutes before I'll be shutting up a shop unless we reach the gift goal. If you are enjoying the conversation, you'd like to keep us talking up here for a little bit longer. I'm very low, so I don't expect it. But the bubblegum is the gift today, and I just want to thank you guys all for the 35,000 likes. We're really short of the 100,000 likes. I don't know why you guys won't tap for me. You tap for everybody else because I'm in the chat with you on all the other lives. You guys literally got Thinker to 32,000 likes last night in 9 minutes, and I've been up here for 3 hours. 3 hours. So,
by the way,
yeah, if you guys could tap that screen, I'd appreciate it.
I thought you were done.
I'm sorry,
I do appreciate everything that you're putting forth here, because in the end, I want to believe that there is some sort of separation of mind and body in some sort of way, because it just my philosophical goal is to someday put my consciousness, or I guess self, into like a robot. Because I really don't care, but in order to take a decision on non-dualism or monism or any of that, I just decided to come up with a goal, and that is my goal. So I'm not really against what you're saying. I don't see anything that supports it.
Well, I could point to.
Let me add to that, because you made a point about what I said. I am just in line with the philosophers who believe that the casual closure of the physical world, if every observable effect has a physical cause, then adding a non-physical element to that, it doesn't do anything. It's unnecessary and it's unsupported.
Well, if you look at the original Greek philosophers, they had always posited, something like this. Plato spoke of the good. Plotinus spoke of.
Why do people do that? Some did and some didn't. Don't do that. Don't generalize. I went over it this morning already. We brought up many who did not. Okay. I hate when people do that. We know that it's some of them did, some of them didn't. Okay. Don't.
There's a great deal who did. I will say there is a great deal who did, but look.
Yes. In archaic Greek, before we had all the advances of technology that we do today, lots of people filled gaps with a god or a metaphysical being. I just don't do it. I don't fill my gaps with a god.
I think, what I'm referring to, I don't think for me, it wouldn't matter if they're out of date with technology, because what I'm emphasizing here is mystical experience. And I think the early Greek philosophers did engage that in what they called hypnosis. But Benny, I know they're closing it down soon. Well, that's what I was about to point to. I'm there's a perfect study you could look into that does evidence this. The research at Johns Hopkins has been going on for, it's literally building on decades of research into this topic. And so, nothing. And it's very much established. It's very much established the mystical experience as a phenomenon in consciousness, and we still don't know what that is, and we don't know whether it's truly, the brain or not. I think that's still up in the brain.
It's not ruled out though. Air.
No, it's intertwined.
Metaphysical, you don't need the brain. No, you're saying that because every time they do a test, they use the brain. Oh my
No.
God, like you cannot literally do a real scientific test if you don't also take away things and see if you get similar or same results. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a blind study then, right? And you're not doing that. What you guys keep doing is fucking with the brain and then going, see, it did something weird, must be metaphysical, must be, because something fucking weird happened when we did that to that brain. That's weird. No, you're fucking with the brain.
No,
You're
I
fucking
think
with
we
some
have it.
physical. Some physical shit happens.
Well, I think
It's
we
not
have it a little
weird.
bit more established than just some weird brain experience. I mean, like I said, these studies have been going on for decades. And to point you to one real quick, Benny
Yeah.
Boy, if you would look into, it's the title of the study is called Classic Hallucinogens and Mystical Experiences, Phenomenology and Neurocorrelates. That would be the perfect place for you to start if you are interested in the topics that you said that you would like to really, get into and see if there's anything there. That would be
Yeah,
a
you're
good
probably
place
going to
start.
send me down a rabbit hole.
Um,
What I was going to ask you though, yeah, before like this is all wrapping up, okay, so maybe is the opposite possible then? Is it possible to have a body without a spirit?
Well, you see, I think it's more, I see it more as the kind of yin yang where, you can't have one without the other. They're intertwined opposites where one can't be teased apart from the other.
Okay.
It's like recognizing darkness without light or light without darkness, and they arise mutually. At least that's how, the Eastern philosopher may see it. And
So,
I'm
sorry, it's just like, so like say a yogi or somebody is meditating, they have hit full transcendental nirvana or what have you, they have transcended, they are experiencing the Brahman, and somebody comes up and unalives them physically.
Sure.
Do they stop meditating?
No, well, you see, the thing is, when someone you mean if they get deceased in the midst of their contemplation, then they might accept it. Maybe you've heard the story of the Buddha, the temple Buddha, where the general comes up to him. He says, "Do you know who I am? I'm someone who could draw my sword through your belly and not bat an eye." And the monk replies, "Do you know who I am? I'm someone that could have your sword run through my belly and not bat an eye." It's their fear of death. And that's because the mystic, in seeing that reality is non-dual, all one, they no longer identify with the material body. They identify with the totality of all being, not just here and now, but for them, the vision is of one that collapses all time, past and future, into the moment. And so, that's the vision they have as a mystic. And so that's why, yeah, go ahead.
Would you say that it's also like all is nothing?
Well, sunyata, some people interpret that as like voidness, as complete negative, like nothing. This non-dual truth that they see can be tricky like that. You could say that it's nothing. You could say that it's all things. It's both and. It's kind of expressed that way by the mystics, and but that's the experience they have in that phenomenon, and that's why I find it so intriguing, because
So
it's kind of mysterious like that.
They have been doing research at the university for decades. Specifically, there are people like Roland Griffiths, Matthew Johnson, and Fred Barrett. But I think that you are really overselling what they have found. So let me give you guys a little bit of a synopsis here. They have shown that a single administration of a classic psychedelic under controlled conditions can on occasion give mystical type experiences which participants rate as among the most meaningful in their lives. We knew that about psychedelics for a while now, though. These experiences are associated with long-term changes, reduction in depression or anxiety, especially in end-of-life context, and increased life satisfaction or sense of meaning. And by the way, because of this, I hope you guys all try to help us get the laws reversed, because more scientists need to be able to do work on psychedelics, because it has been found to help people with mental health health issues for a really long time. But the problem is that in a lot of places, illegal for them to even do tests on it. So it's a really important that we allow that kind of study to be done. They have documented belief changes after such experiences, increased attribution of consciousness or mind-like properties to plants, insects, or even inanimate objects, and increased non-physicalist metaphysical beliefs. Everything is alive, or consciousness is more fundamental than matter. Example, attribution of consciousness to insects rose 33 to 57% after the experience. And that self-identified believers increased from 29% to 59% after psychedelic experience in the survey. They have mapped brain changes, decreases in activity in the brain's ego networks, such as the claustrum default mode network during psychedelic states, and enhanced repertoire of brain network connectivity states, increase neural signal diversity during altered states. Clinically, they are showing therapeutic value of psychedelics for mental health, depression, addiction, anxiety, though the mechanism is not fully settled. They do not claim it definitively proves metaphysical truths, like the existence of an immaterial soul or supernatural realm. They remain cautious. In a study of God encounters experiences, lead researcher Roland Griffiths explicitly said, "We want to be clear that our study looks at personal experiences and says nothing about the existence or non-existence of God." In a review article, they note that although psychedelics may facilitate experiences that feel metaphysical because they change beliefs about reality, they are unlikely to directly solve the hard problem of consciousness, why subjective experiences exist, or answer metaphysical questions definitively. They emphasize the need for epistemic humility about interpreting these effects. For example, we cannot currently say that psychedelics prove evidence for a mind-independent metaphysical realm. We observe brain changes and altered subject experiences. So they're telling you that they are seeing a physical change, not a metaphysical.
Have you ever seen that old movie from the 80s called Altered States? It's a Ken Russell film. It's about this guy that takes psychedelics. He goes into like some chamber, like a sensory deprivation chamber, but that he like brings back some like primeval.
Oh, I know. It was a movie, right?
Yeah. It's like a caveman or something that he brings back.
Yes, I remember that movie.
Like, if something like that were to happen, I would be all for like looking into more of this. I think that if two people were able to share information, say they give them some sort of research chemical or something, and they're able to share information over like two poles of the globe mentally or something, then I would say that we have something there. The closest thing that I could think of is maybe like the funny action at a distance when it comes to like quantum mechanics, where information is sort of passed, but it's kind of just like part of the function of quantum mechanics and entanglement, but not really like that there's a actual like, because of one, the other happens. It's just, once you observe one, you already know what the other is. So it's kind of an instant thing. And I mean, entanglement in itself is a really cool and kind of like a not completely understood thing. So there is room for this type of thought. I don't think that we've gotten all of physics correct. Especially because we have big question marks.
I don't think we've gotten all of anything correct.
No, yeah.
I think we've gotten anything
my friend's a theoretical physicist, and I always ask him. He has a PhD in it, and I always ask him like, "Wow, you probably know a lot of things." He said, "Dude, you grew up in biology. You know everything about biology." And I said, "No, there's more to discover." He goes, "It's a lot worse on our end," and it's true. It's a lot worse.
Well, listen, I want to wrap up. We didn't reach the gift goal, but that's okay. It's never expected. It's always appreciated when we do. But I always like to give you guys each your final thoughts for everybody who's up on the panel before we say goodbye for the day. So, Jimmy, please share with us your final thoughts. And oh, by the way, don't debate each other at this point. Let's let each other kind of do a little mic drop before we go away for the day. Thank you, Elizabeth. If we do reach the gift goal, though, after we're done with this, we're just going to stay up here, okay? Sometimes we reach the gift goal while we're yapping. But go ahead, Jimmy.
Sure. No, I just want to point out what Crystal said is absolutely true. They are very cautious when it comes to metaphysical claims. But, you know, the researchers, Dr. Roland Griffiths himself, will say that these core features do map on one per one for what's, you know, been classically described as mystical experience. And in all of the world's major religions, you know, they say they can reproduce this in their studies. So I don't think it's completely dissociated from metaphysical claims. I think there needs to be more research, but I think if there's any way to bridge that connection, this would be the avenue and the neuroscience that would definitely do it. That's all.
Very cool. And yeah, feel free to DM me those studies too. I'd like to look at them. I think it's very interesting. It's just right now, I'm sorry, I'm very skeptical because I haven't seen anything outside of what they're doing with the brain. Benny, what do you got for us? What's your final thoughts?
So I appreciate like Jimmy and what you're like bringing forth. I think you're actually describing these things very, very well. And I think that Eastern philosophy has a lot of interesting stuff in it. And like I said, I think I'm split, you know. I'm with Crystal where like just deep down in my heart, I just physicalism is just it, you know, and that's it. But there is part of me, maybe like 10%, maybe like 1%, I don't know, that is wanting to, you know, believe that the mind and body are not one. And if that's true, like, you know, what could come of that? But I don't know. Non-dualism, I guess, isn't technically dualism. It's technically non-dualism. So it's an interesting topic to discuss. But I would say that atheists, for the most part, the ones that I know, should be able to grasp these topics.
Oh, yeah, I hope so. Logic, what do you got for us? What are your final thoughts?
Well, I guess for mine, I appreciate. I think Jimmy and has came up here and being honest and very forthcoming about things, and
knowledgeable.
Totally, yeah, and I do appreciate that. My only thing is where I do it, I'm kind of like, I'm all about like understanding like what's spiritual and metaphysics. I guess my problem is until we can demonstrate something supernatural, metaphysics, or spiritual, and we can actually define what that is, and if there is anything that can demonstrate that these things are intertwined in this world, right now I have no other choice but to go with the natural world instead of some of the metaphysics and supernatural. If it does come, I think it'd be a really cool thing because then it might explain a lot of some strange and weird things that we have going on. That would be great. But at this particular moment, I'm having to refrain from saying that any of that's true, but I'm happy to explore it and be open to it.
Okay, I want to add an addendum. Like I have partook in some of the things that we've talked about today. And I mean, hey, I've experienced weird things, but I see more like Jungian psychology, maybe like in this, like where the collective consciousness is more of a, you know, evolved experience trait that we get from like maybe like a common ancestor. But now I'm kind of like bringing in a new point and like getting back into the debate. So, but I just wanted to add that part too. Like there's possibly just, you know, maybe a mystical experience is really just a common, you know, evolutionary trait that we all share. We tend to have in all like major religions common themes. So you know, that's is what it is, I guess.
All right, Lowen, what do you got for us?
I don't really have anything on the current topic because it's a little bit over my head. I'm not as versed
Oh,
in
I
it
mean, you
as
can talk
are,
about
but,
anything, Lowen. You can talk about anything. It's just your final thoughts.
I just wanted to say thank you, as always, for having me up here. I always, even though I didn't contribute much, I always enjoy being part of your lives.
I love having you
Yeah.
up here.
I
That's
forgot to
pretty much
say
all I
that.
have.
I wanted to say
here's
thank
my-
you too. I forgot to say that.
Aw, thank you. I really appreciate all of you. Jimmy, Benny, Logic, and Lon. Thank you guys for coming up here and being a part of my panel today. And everybody else who came up and shared their opinions and hung out. Everybody over on the YouTubes. Here are my final thoughts, okay? The minute something physical is brought in, it's no longer metaphysical. Like, that's literally what the definition is. Now, if you say, well, the metaphysical is entwined with the brain or whatever, if that is the only time we see the metaphysical, it has then become physical. It is not metaphysical anymore. If we cannot show that something exists outside of physical, that means outside of all of nature, it is not metaphysical. It becomes physical the minute it becomes a part of our nature. The minute it becomes a part of electricity, a part of anything like that, about of anything that already exists in the physical world, it is then physical. And so far, every single time we've looked for an answer on this earth to something we didn't understand, it has always been natural in the physical world, in the physical realm. Every time. And even now, when they're looking for these answers, they're using our brains and they're using, I can't say the words, but they're using mind-altering things. That's also physical. There's nothing that they're using. Nobody's doing magic spells. Nobody's using any magic powers. Nobody's doing anything outside of the physical realm. And so that is why I don't believe in the metaphysical. We're not even testing the metaphysical. We're only testing the physical. So that might sound very simplistic, and I'd love to read more of the studies. I have read some of them. I've talked about it before. My father died for 7 minutes on the table. He had no NDE, and because of that, like I looked into NDEs and so forth and found that it's actually more common for people to not have an experience than to have an experience. But we don't talk about that a lot. We don't talk about how many people unalive on the table and see nothing because that's boring. We only talk about the times they see something. And I'm glad if that helps them during those horrific times. Our brain is an amazing thing. And I personally find the physical world so fucking miraculous and extraordinary. I don't need all the other stuff. The entire universe has so many mysteries still left in it. I don't need a mysterious force beam thing. I don't need it. I've got mysteries galore. I've got miracles galore, just looking at our natural world. But anyway, I hope you guys all have a great day. Again, thank you everyone for being here. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time for non-believers Bible study. We're in Numbers chapter 16. I hope you'll join us. And everybody on YouTube, thank you so much. You guys have a great day. I will see you. Oh, we're going to go raid Trust But Verify, whether you're on YouTube or over here on the TikToks. Trust But Verify, all one word. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day, and I'll